It's Thursday night.
Time for high school football on Fox Sports Ohio.
Harrison at Anderson.
For Ancient Valley Football! Coming up next. Rock. Woo!
Yeah, baby.
One game at a time.
Welcome to High School Football Live, presented by Grange Insurance. Now, here are your hosts, Jeff Picoro and Dave Lapham Jr.
They are getting ready for football at Charles L. Brown Stadium in Anderson Township. Tonight, it's the Anderson Redskins and the Harrison Wildcats for an Ancient Valley Conference Showdown. And welcome to High School Football Live, presented by Grange Insurance. Hi, everybody. I'm Jeff Picoro along with Dave Lapham Jr. And, David, this is going to be, as I said, a showdown. These teams, they don't like each other. And this is a very important game in conference play. Anderson 3-1, 7-2 overall. But over the last couple of years, 20-4. And all they did last year was win a state championship.
Man, first one in school history. Coach Giesting's first year with the program. Had to be exciting for everybody. What a way, at the beginning of the year when you put your goals down on the board, that final goal, state title. Man, what a great feeling to achieve it. Let's hear what they had to say about that.
It was not by any means anything we expected. We started the year with, I think, 17 seniors. We had just lost a great class of 38 seniors who went 7-3 and just had bad luck in a couple games. And so we had an inexperienced group. When we got into the playoffs and we found that, our schedule was so tough last year. It's probably the toughest schedule Anderson's ever played because we had always been Division I and we'd scheduled that way to try to get the computer points. And so we were really prepared for the playoffs, I think, and we won our first two, and then we were fortunate enough to beat Turpin at Princeton, from the region finals because they had a tremendous team, and then beat Ashland in the semifinals. Got to Massillon. When you get to state finals, anything can happen, and we jumped up on Louisville early and had a decent lead at halftime and just kind of, coasted on in the second half. But it wasn't anything expected at all.
Winning the championship last year was, probably the greatest thing that's happened to me in high school. Winning it from a football perspective was awesome, but also just for the whole school, everyone really came together, and throughout the whole time of going up to state and everything, everybody really came together and was really supportive, so it was pretty awesome.
Honestly, a rush of feelings. I honestly don't really remember much of it because everything happened so fast, but from what I do remember, it was really exciting. It was a great time just being with my teammates, going that far in the playoffs, just being through, with them through the thick and thins, and it was a really great experience.
Very important football game. How important, Dave Lapham Jr.? I guess Anderson has to win to secure home field advantage in the playoffs. They really want that. But for Harrison, they just simply have to win, don't they?
It is. This is a big one for both teams. It's a conference game. It's potentially the last game, regular season game for some of these seniors. A couple of them will go on. And like you said, at Anderson, they're in Division II, currently rated number 3 in those all-important Harbin ratings. And the top 4, Jeff, as you mentioned, get home field advantage. So a win tonight, keep Anderson in good position to be one of those top 4 seeds, get that home field advantage. And in round 1, that game will be played right here. It's a big advantage for Anderson. They're going to come out firing tonight to try and take advantage.
Well, they really will. And Anderson, they do it the old-fashioned way. It's the way that they've been playing here forever. Even though Jeff Giesting is a fairly new coach here at Anderson, this is a team that likes to slug it out, don't they?
They do, and like Coach Giesting said, they play a heck of a schedule, and they're prepared come playoff time, and they've got a couple great options offensively to get the ball rolling, get it down the field. Anderson, take a look at what they did during the season. They're on a 3-game winning streak right now. Had a big win last week against Milford. We're up 50-0 at the start of that ball game against Milford, and won a tough game against Glen Estee the week before. They're really setting themselves up nicely come playoff time. Got another good test here tonight. They'd like to get that win, as we mentioned.
Well, they really would. And for Anderson, Daniel Rod, the quarterback, 679 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, but he also gets some help. Runk's his favorite target, 3 TDs, but Kelly Slater, he can do it all for them, can't he?
He did. He's their junior running back. And Kyle's got 1,100 yards, over 1,100 yards, 8.4 per carry, 20 total touchdowns. He came from Glen Estee last year, a different team in the Fort Ancient Valley Conference. Now he's with Anderson trying to help these guys defend their state title. And those 3 guys are the key to the offense. it's a balanced attack. Rod can do it both. He can run it, he can pass it, and he's got a couple of weapons. Slater on the ground and Runk through the air.
All right, now let's take a look at the Ohio Division I Region 4. And this is where it becomes very important, of course, for Harrison. They basically have to win to get in the playoffs, correct?
It has. It's been a rough year in Division I. There hasn't been a clear-cut favorite throughout the year, and as a result of that, there hasn't been a clear-cut top eight to get into the playoffs. You can see Harrison ranked number 9 right now. They're right on the verge. If they don't win tonight, they won't be in. If they win tonight, they still need some help. But it puts them in a position to make it to the playoffs. Tonight's a big one for them. They're going to give it all tonight. Playoffs is their goal, and tonight determines whether they have a shot or not.
Well, they've got a healthy quarterback, and that is the key for them. But let's check out their results first and show what you talked about. They started off hot, then they kind of went on a little bit of a roller coaster ride, and on the downslope, and they hope to start the upslope again before the playoffs.
Yeah, just the opposite of what we had. Anderson coming off a 3-game winning streak, and Harrison's lost their last 3. Man, a heartbreaker last week for them last week against Glen Estee. They were down 21-7 late, tied at 24-24. Glen Estee got the ball first, scored in overtime. Harrison came back, scored, went for 2 to win it, and didn't get it. And man, is that a tough game. That's something to look at tonight, you know, with all that emotion last week of having that near miss. Will they be able to come out tonight with that same level of intensity against a tough Anderson team?
Yeah, but you know, as a player, you love that by your coach to go for it. Well, they have a healthy Randy Doss, and that will help. 1,566 yards, 18 touchdowns through the air, 417 yards rushing, and 5 touchdowns. He can do everything for them, can't he?
He's gonna get it going, and he looks for his 2 prime targets. Josh Dugans, he's got averaging over 22 yards of reception. He's got 11 touchdown catches. And on the other side, Justin Foley is his other favorite target. These two are a good 1-2 punch in the passing game. Doss is going to keep him honest. He's going to spread the ball around to his top targets, and he can, you know, tuck it and run as well. So it's a potent Harrison offense, and these 3 guys are the key to it.
Almost 60 receptions between Dugan and Foley. It's going to be real interesting to see. Are they going to try to spread this Anderson defense out a little bit? Obviously, having a healthy quarterback is the key to them, because Randy is so good. He throws the ball well, but the key is when he gets back there in the pocket, if nobody's open, he can take off and run it. We've seen some quarterbacks this year that are good running, maybe not so good passing, or good passing, not so good running. He can beat you both ways.
And that's where football's going nowadays. You got to have a quarterback who's an athlete back there who can read coverage, recognize what fronts the defenses are in, what the coverage is, and when he's under pressure, he's got to be able to escape that pressure, get out of the pocket, and make plays with his feet. And when you got a quarterback that can do that, man, the defense is put under such pressure to both contain the pass, but also keep an eye on that quarterback so he doesn't run free, you know, for big gains when everyone's covered. So he's a big threat for Harrison.
All right, we'll stay with us. Still plenty more to come. A huge tilt in the Fort Ancient Valley Conference Buckeye Division. We'll have more of our pregame show presented by Grange after this.
High School Football Live on FSN Ohio is brought to you by Grange Insurance. Find a Grange agent at grangeinsurance.com for your auto, home, business, or life insurance needs. And by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers.
And we're back. Anderson versus Harrison, a Fort Ancient Valley Conference Buckeye Division showdown. Week 10, last regular season game for these seniors. Potential playoff implications on the line tonight, and we're going to take a look at the Harrison Wildcats. The green and white of Harrison, an enrollment of over 1,300. And tonight we're going to be joined by Keith Kleinfelter, the principal at Harrison High School. And Keith, this is your first year at Harrison High School, and how's it been going so far? How have you adjusted to being involved with the students, the community, everything going on there?
Well, it's been a good school year so far. We had a good, successful fall athletic season. We're still hoping to make the football playoffs tonight by beating Anderson, and I hope that happens. If you have a good sports season, it carries in through the school year. Academically, our kids are getting ready for the OGT test next week, and it's been a good transition coming from Ross to Harrison. It's exciting.
And you mentioned those academics. You know, one of the big things is the ratings, and the state of Ohio gave you a district rating of excellent. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We're real proud of that at Harrison. Southwest School District, everyone got an excellent rating, and we're concentrating on trying to keep that over the next couple of years and not slip back to continuous improvement or effective. And that's important to our community. School is about academics first, and extracurriculars and co-curriculars second, and we're very proud of that at Harrison, and that's what we're about.
Well, you got the academics. We're going to get a good look at the athletics here tonight, and you mentioned the importance of the community, and you guys are really emphasizing that for your students now, getting them out in the community and getting them involved. And how is that? What type of initiatives have you undertaken to do that this year?
Well, our superintendent, Chris Brown, one of his themes this year, starting out the school year for our faculty and staff and the students, was to give back to the community in some way, and we've got a couple of clubs that are trying to give back to church organizations like Key Club, helping them out with youth group activities, Bible school, things like that. Also helping out senior citizens in various homes around town, and then also trying to give back to community ad hoc activities, like we had Big Mingus Pumpkin Fest last week, and our students were over there volunteering, helping set that up, parking cars, and just trying to add to their experience of it's not all about just school and academics, but you have to give back to your community in a charitable way to be successful in life.
And a great preparation, as you said, for that life experience after school. And one of the big things about Harrison that's unique, that I think I'd like to hear more about, is you've got a solar-powered classroom, one of two in Ohio. What?
Right. We have a fantastic science teacher, Steve Brickner, who has been involved with the Ohio Energy Project with some of our students in a competition. And in partnership with Duke Energy, we have been chosen one of two schools in Ohio to have a classroom, have solar-powered electricity that's going to power that classroom. Duke is currently in the process of installing 9 solar panels on the roof of our school, and we're going to turn one classroom, I forget what it is exactly, 3 kilowatts of power or something like that are going to be solar generated and given back to the grid. So that's kind of neat.
That's really neat. What a great experience for the school, and man, working with Duke on that, that's quite a project and an undertaking. Tonight we're going to get the football team out on the field, hoping for the playoffs. Thanks for joining us. Best of luck tonight and the rest of the school year.
Thank you, Mr. Lapham.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. It's senior night here at Anderson. Harrison against Anderson. Big game tonight, Fort Ancient Valley Conference. We'll be back after this.
High School Football Live on FSN Ohio is brought to you by Grange Insurance. Find an agent near you at grangeinsurance.com for your auto, home, business, or life insurance needs. And by Beacon Orthopedic. Beacon has opened its 3rd office in Batesville, Indiana. Weekday and weekend sports injury clinic appointments are available by calling 513-354-3700. Toll-free number from Indiana, call 1-888-773-4353.
Welcome back to Charles L. Brown Stadium in Anderson Township. It's High School Football Live, presented by Grange Insurance, Anderson and Harrison. The Redskins and the Wildcats, the Fort Ancient Valley Conference showdown tonight. Well, it should be a great contest tonight, and I am pleased now to be joined in our Beacon Orthopedic Update by Dr. Bob Berger. He went to LaSalle. We'll let him go with that since this is the east side. But he also played at Notre Dame. Played for Dan Devine back there, right? I bet that was a blast.
I did. It was fun. It was a few years and a few pounds ago, Jeff, but it was a wonderful time. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you and I both played college football a long time ago. Let's talk about the differences in high school now as opposed to when we played. What are some of the different injuries that you see that maybe we didn't see back then or that we saw then that we don't see now?
Jeff, that's a good question. Back in the days when you and I played, we saw knee injuries all the time.
Right.
For instance, we went through one set of spring practice at Notre Dame. We had 6 guys tear ACLs. And back then you could cut. When we grew up, they taught roll blocks. You chop downfield. Crack back blocks were legal. And now all those blocks are illegal. And so what's happened is with the changes in the rules, with the condition of kids, we see a lot less knee injuries than we saw a generation ago. But what also has changed is that back when you and I played, what they always said, tackle, put your face in them.
Right.
You put your face in, we got pinched nerves, burners, stingers, but now you can't do that because of the risk that you have for head and neck injuries. As that's changed, you see a lot more shoulder injuries.
Because everybody's at their hands out, right?
You tackle with the shoulder.
Offensive too.
That's right. The other thing is back when we blocked, Went from this
Yep.
to when they liberated the rules back then, you could go like this with your hands closed. Matter of fact, when we played at
thought
Notre
that was the
Dame,
greatest
well,
thing.
we did. And matter of fact, we had our hand pads colored to
White.
match the opposing
Right.
team's jerseys. Each week they painted them. But nowadays, whereas it used to be like this to like this, now as they've liberated, you can reach out, you can play with your hands. You can't play low. The kids play higher. They lock up more, and as a result, you have a lot higher incidence of shoulder injuries that we had back in the Stone Ages when you and I played.
You know, it's very interesting to see the differences, and it's all because of the rules changes that have come about in football, correct?
It is, that's correct. The rules, again, you can't block, you can't chop block low, it prevents the knees, but as you've liberated the blocking for holding, what's happened is it guys, as they tackle differently for not protecting for face injuries, and as you widen up the arms, you'll see a greater incidence of shoulder dislocations, problems with the shoulders in both offensive and defensive football players.
I though think it's more safe though not to be able to go down on the knees.
It is.
I think that could be a devastating
It is. That's
injury.
right. Yeah. I mean, and by, not to say that the shoulders are no big deals, but
Sure.
if we got to trade the shoulder injuries versus the head and neck and the knees, we'll take that any day.
All right, you also do a lot of work with a couple of colleges around here, most notably Xavier University. You're their team doctor as well
I
as
do.
basketball practice is underway.
That's right, yeah. Sean Miller, Kevin McGuff are working hard. They're both very excited about the season. They got some very talented teams. The kids are working hard, and hopefully we have a season that just builds on the success of last year.
And another college over on the west side that you help out a lot is Mount St. Joe,
That's
correct?
right. That's right. Coach Rod Huber and Mount St. Joe Lions, they've done a fantastic job. They won the conference, gone to the NCAA Division III playoffs the last 3 years, and you know they come out to play all the time, and I'm involved and fortunate to serve as their team doctor also.
All right, well, we appreciate you joining us for a few minutes and go Irish, right?
Thank you, Jeff. and Wildcats.
There
We'll give you
go.
one too.
Thanks, Dr. Berger. All right, I think now Dave is over on the sidelines and he has a special guest. Let's go to Dave Lapham Jr. Dave?
Hey, thanks, Jeff. One of the things that Harrison offers now for some of their students that may want to grow up and be like Dr. Berger at Beacon Orthopedic is a program in human kinesiology, injury, and treatment. It's an elective class, and in order to get into it, you have to have already passed health with a grade of an A. So you have to have a level of achievement to get into the program. And it allows students to work with the school's athletic trainer, provides insight into sports management, injury prevention, injury treatment, rehabilitation, strength training, athletic nutrition needs, pretty much anything you need to know to kind of help out the trainer, get your student athletes in a better place athletically, get them back on that field faster, and actually try and keep them out of the situation where they're injured in the first place by building up the strength and the nutrition that they need to perform at their peak here in these athletic contests. It's a great program. Another example of these high schools doing a great job preparing kids for college and for a future beyond that in whatever course or career path they want to go. So take a look out for those Harrison students helping out the student athletes tonight. Back to you, Jeff.
Well, thank you very much, Dave. Still plenty more to come on the pregame show, including Tom Gresham, the man that knows everything about high school football, especially the playoffs. We're going to put him to the task. What is going to happen next week in the playoffs? That's when we return.
Empty nesters are downsizing these days. To some, that means a smaller house. To others, it's moving to a less populated area.
It has a CD player, an adjustable suspension. You just dial in your weight.
I'm not dialing in anything.
At Grange, we sell our policies through local independent agents. So as your needs change, Grange is there to back you.
See Kramer Myers and Waring Dickerson Insurance at our Batavia and Blanchester offices.
Your partner in protection.
Welcome back to High School Football Live, presented by Grange Insurance. Jeff Pecoro and Dave Lapham Jr. from Charles L. Brown Stadium in Anderson Township as the sun sets.
The Anderson Redskins are the defending Division II champions, and at 7-2 are ready for another trip to the playoffs. Tonight, they finish regular season play against the skilled offense of the Harrison Wildcats, led by Randy Doss and Josh Dugan. It's coming up next on Fox Sports Ohio.
Welcome to Thursday Night High School Football, brought to you by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. From Cincinnati, Ohio, it is the 5-4 Harrison Wildcats taking on the 7-2 Anderson Redskins. From Charles L. Brown Stadium in Anderson Township, Hello again, everyone. Brad Johansson alongside Dave Lapham as we close out the regular season in Ohio, and that means it's playoff time.
It means it's playoff time, and both teams here are going in different directions. Anderson has won 3 in a row, gaining momentum. Harrison has lost 3 in a row. They got to win.
Harrison had the hammer 3 weeks ago, and last week a devastating loss in overtime to Glen Estee. If they are going to get back in the picture, and this is their last chance, they're going to have to get consistent play from their quarterback, Randy Doss.
And for 2 halves. I mean, he's played well one half and then not so well the other. You cannot have the Charles Dickens tale of 2 halves game tonight. But this kid can really get it done. Throws the football pretty well, averaging over 9 yards per attempt, 18 touchdown passes, and then he can make decisions to tuck it and go as well on the ground. He's run the ball for 417 yards. 5 touchdowns. When he does decide to throw it, he's going to try to get his main target, Josh Dugan, one-on-one on the outside. Dugan averaging over 22 yards per catch. 11 of his 34 receptions have gone for touchdown, almost 1/3. Plus, he's taken a punt back 35 yards for a score as well. This kid's a threat.
Anderson pretty firm right now. They are the defending state champs in Division II, led by their quarterback last year, Daniel Rod. He's the same guy this year.
Daniel Rod knows the offense as well as the coaches do, and he can get it done. Now, he throws the ball pretty effectively. He's thrown for 679 yards and 5 touchdowns, but he also runs it exceptionally well. Almost 6 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns rushing, but he's going to get the ball in the hands of the transfer from Glen Estee. We saw this young man, Kyle Slater, in our game last year against Harrison, but he was with Glen Estee. Now, with Anderson, he's rushed for over 1,100 yards and 18 touchdowns on the ground. His last 3 games have been dynamic. 522 yards, almost over 9 yards a carry, and 9 of his 18 touchdowns in the last 3 games. He's got great cutback vision, and I'll tell you what, he will finish a run as well as anybody.
It should be electric tonight. Spots on the line, a playoff atmosphere. Thursday night high school football on Fox Sports Ohio is coming up next. And welcome to Charles L. Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, Anderson Township to be specific. And you're looking at the Harrison Wildcats and now the Anderson Redskins as they get ready for the final regular season battle in Ohio. Brad Johansson alongside Dave Lapham. Happy to be bringing Thursday night high school football games all year long. Our last Thursday of the year. Are you a little bit sentimental at this point, Dave?
Just a little bit as these kids get ready for playoff action. Implications tonight, you know, I mean, as the regular season winds down, these games become more and more critical, and it's a must-win for Harrison, not a must-win for Anderson, but they've won 3 in a row, Brad. They want to go into the playoffs on a very, very high momentum-wise.
Yeah, as we talked about, a devastating last 3 weeks for the Harrison Wildcats, who really held their fate in their own hands and have just absolutely tripped over themselves, and tonight would like to trip some other people up.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. They had the game in overtime. They kick an extra point, decide there's a penalty. They decide to accept the penalty, half the distance to the goal, take the point off the board, and go for 2 to win the game against Glen Estee. And the snap is fumbled, and they lose the football game 31-30 in overtime.
Devastating. Coaches don't sleep after decisions like that.
Kids are more resilient. They'll rebound a lot sooner than the coaches will, that's for sure.
John Howard to kick off for Anderson. Moving from our left to our right. A 3-back Brandon Fisher, Randy Doss, and Josh Dugan. Names that we'll be calling all night long.
And they want Dugan to get Doss to get the ball. He's the one right in the middle.
And they kick it off middle. It will be Doss outside the 5. And can't find a whole lot of room. We'll get out just across the 20-yard line. And that's where Doss will end up standing behind center to start this one off as Eli Anglem takes him down. Take a look at Doss's numbers. Over 1,500 yards, 18 TDs to 8 interceptions on the year.
Yeah, not a real high completion percentage guy, under 50%. Like we said in the open, he's got to string 2 halves together. He's had brilliant halves followed up by subpar halves, or a subpar half followed up by a brilliant one.
1st and 10 from the 21 and a pitch back. And David Hayes will take it for a couple out to the 23-yard line. Take a look at the Grange Insurance starting lineups. For the Harrison Wildcats on offense, you see the guys on the line: Sandman, Smith, McDonald, Blake, and Kolb. Kolb, their bell cow there, the backs and receivers: Dugan, Myers, Foley, Loneman, and Hayes.
Foley's a nice weapon at the tight end position. He's #1 in his class. Ivy League candidate. He's going to go to Colgate potentially, playing the Patriot League.
2nd down and 7 from the 24. Hayes again across the 25. We'll take it out to the 28-yard line. Pick up a 4 on that one, and a takedown by Lackner and Cucillo. The Grange Insurance Anderson Redskins on defense. The defensive line: Wallen, Nab, and James.
Wallace, the smart player there, a very solid player.
Lackner, Anglem, Bigelow, and Schlosser.
Anglem's the one, plays very, very hard. Kripe is a guy to look for in the secondary. Excellent technique, very, very intelligent player.
40% on 3rd downs this year. 3rd and 3 from the 28. They give it to Hayes, and he will go nowhere. Probably lost a yard. And Anderson holds a 3 and out on the first series for the Wildcats.
Well, that's not what the Wildcats were hoping to do. They were hoping to eat up some clock, going a long sustained drive. They didn't want to give the ball back this quickly to Anderson. They want to stay out of a track meet with Anderson. They do not want to get in a scoring fest with this football team.
4th down and 4 from the 27. And a short kick. Flag on the field as it takes a Wildcat bounce inside the 40 and down close to the 35-yard line.
I'll tell you, there was some pressure put on the punter by Justin Racer. Justin Racer came close to getting a block punt, which would have been a big play for Anderson at that point.
Colt Gibson with a 38-yard kick.
Got a warning to move the Anderson
sideline
back. There's a second white line, Brad, 5 yards from the sideline. The only people that can be between those white lines are the coaches, and the players have to be back behind the second white line. So that basically for player safety, you don't want guys getting injured with players running out of bounds right into the legs of the bench players.
See Coach Jeff Giesting telling them to get back. 1st and 10 for Anderson from their own 36-yard line. Daniel Rod with a handoff straight up the middle. Get maybe to the 39-yard line. 3-yard gain. And take a look at Daniel Rod's numbers on the year.
It's not the touchdown to interception ratio that you want, but he is completing over 50% of his passes. He has to make sure that he does not put his team in jeopardy with any turnovers tonight. No interceptions, no fumbles.
2nd down and 7 from the 39. Give it to Slater straight up the middle. And he'll take it close to the 45-yard line. Probably a yard and a half short of the 1st down as Artie Houston takes him down. And you take a look at the Anderson Redskins starting lineup from Grange Insurance on the offensive line. Elliott, Mance, Sherman, Phillips, and Norwell.
Norwell's the stud.
He's a stud.
Where's number 78 at that left tackle position? That's a good number to wear there. And, of course, Kyle Slater. He is the straw that stirs the running game drink.
On 3rd down and 2 from the 44. And the straw is gone. Whoa. Down the sideline, Slater for the touchdown.
Man, that's some acceleration there, Brad. He went 0 to 60 in a heartbeat. He was shifting gears that people didn't think he had.
56 yards from Slater, and Anderson is on the board in a hurry.
He has got some serious jackhammer feet to him. Little swinging gate on the extra point by Anderson. If Harrison doesn't match up properly, they will go for 2, but if Harrison matches up and has proper coverage on this extra point, as they have, they will line back up for the regular extra point formation.
Rod will go to Holder and John Howard for the extra point. Snap back is high, hold down, nice job by Rod to get it down. And it is through from Howard. Take one more look at Mr. Slater. Dave said he's got the extra gear. And he found it. A 56-yard run for Slater.
Nice lead block by his compatriot.
Back in Anderson Township. Take a look at the 56-yard run. They did a little something special, didn't they, Dave?
Well, they went on balanced line, Brad, and you got Norwell right here with Mance. You got the 2 tackles in tandem right next to each other here. So they load up the right side with some extra beef. and they lead blocker. Perez gets the block as a fullback, and they basically out-gapped Harrison, outmanned them, and out-gapped them. And Harrison didn't have the proper defensive leverage. Next thing you know, 56-yard touchdown.
Slater in the end zone. John Howard to kick this one off.
That was good eyes down there by young Dave. Saw that the two tackles lined up in tandem. We ran that at Syracuse every single snap, if you can believe that. We had tight end, guard, center, right guard, inside tackle, outside tackle. That's how.
Every single snap.
Every single snap with Ben Schwartzwalder, who now, a very famous movie about Ernie Davis.
Howard lets it go. Bring it far side. It is Dugan who gets laid out before the 20-yard line. He was hit by Justin Racer, and he came like a racer. Take a look at this. Slater straight through the hole, and by the time he was gone.
He scored some touch football.
Yeah.
Nobody laid a fingernail on him. I mean, that was a gaping cavity. Not only did Anderson overload the right side, Harrison did not hit their gap responsibilities well enough. You put those two things together, that's like putting a match to gasoline.
1st and 10 from the 18 for the Wildcats. First throw, Hayes gets laid out again. Just across the 20-yard line. Eli Anglem, after the 5-yard gain, put him down.
Eli Anglem has got the intelligence, plays very, very hard. And they're very pleased, Anderson is, to get number 52 back in that dark jersey. Adam Bigelow. He got hurt in week 2 against Mason with a dislocated kneecap, and he's back now.
2nd and 6 from the 22. Straight up the middle, pushing the pile just across the 26-yard line. Bring up a 3rd and short from there. Kevin Kripin on the stop. A lot of Redskins to the pile. 3rd and 2 from the 26. Doss with the pitch back to Hayes, and he is hit in the backfield and drilled by Jake Lackner. And there's some hitting going on, a loss of 1.
Neither team has thrown the football yet. Both football teams are trying to impose their will, establish the ground game. So far, Anderson's will is a lot more distinct than Harrison's will. That's just a nice job of getting off blocks and making plays. Lackner with an outstanding effort out there defensively for Anderson.
Holt Gibson to punt. Louis Perez back to receive. And he will take it, lose it, fall on it inside the 40-yard line. Harrison right there to make the stop. A 36-yard kick. No return. Tyler Elrod on the stop. It's 7-0. Anderson, 6:55 to go in the first. Be right back.
These days you can buy more things in more places than ever before. You'd think that would make things simpler.
I'd like a venti quad cappuccino.
But it just makes it more complicated. That's why at Grange, we still sell our auto insurance through independent agents. It's a far smoother process than buying from a stranger over some 1-800 line. It's good to know what you're buying and who you're buying it from.
See Kramer Myers and Waring Dickerson Insurance at our Batavia and Blanchester offices.
Your partner in protection.
We're back. Anderson leading 7-0 on Harrison. Neil Kasner going to have to do it defensively right now because the offense isn't getting anything on the Redskins. And Slater with a big play, a 56-yard run for his 21st touchdown.
Yeah, he's got. He took the opening kickoff against Taft, 95 yards for a touchdown. That's one of them. He's caught a touchdown pass. And now he has 19 rushing touchdowns.
Straight through the middle. Mr. Slater. Stamper on the stop, and the Grange Insurance starting lineups on the defensive line. Sturgill, Stamper, Peters, and Tumlin. Quite the wrestler is Tumlin.
Yes, he is.
You see the linebackers, Schneider, Houston, and Rivera. And the defensive backs Gibson, Bond, Elrod, and Edwards. Tonight's starting line is brought to you by Grange Insurance Agents. To get more information on all your insurance needs, contact Kramer Myers Agency in Batavia. Nice cut, move the chains.
That's about as good a 7 or 8 yard run as I've seen in a while. Perez made at least 3 people miss. Outstanding change of direction. Getting in and out of cuts. Sinking those hips. Watch Perez. Makes 1 miss. He gets to the perimeter. Makes another miss. Now he cuts it back and makes a couple more miss. And then goes to the turf. That's great vision and excellent athletic ability in space.
1st and 10 from midfield for the Redskins. Rod to throw. Looking long. Down the middle of the field. Incomplete. Overthrown. Out there looking for Ken Nakakura. But Elrod and Gibson on coverage, and that one just a little too long.
You know, Anderson's offense is built with a tremendous number of big plays, or big play potential. 11 different offensive performers have contributed a big play, which is 20 yards or more in the passing game and the running game. 11 different members offensively. That's pretty impressive.
2nd down and 10 from midfield. Rod will keep it. Except they went to Brandon Bornhaver. Bornhauser started 3 games already at quarterback. As a matter of fact, the last one at Milford. Amelia and DeSales he started. They'll use him both at fullback and at quarterback, the 5'10 junior.
Well, he's averaged 8 yards a carry, and he's rushed for 4 touchdowns. He's thrown a touchdown pass. He's had an interception. They've got multiple weapons out there. There's no doubt about it. They've had 2 running plays this year, and the 3rd is tonight. They've had a run of 51, 56 for a touchdown, and 74 on the season.
3rd down and 5. Slater looking for it. 1st contact, 2nd contact, 3rd, and he will not get past the 45-yard line. Elrod and Peters there, and then got some help to make the stop.
I think you might think about pinning Harrison back here and play a little field position. I think that's what they're going to do, kick it away. Harrison does a pretty good job here of holding their responsibilities, gap control responsibilities, and rallying to the football. Pretty good gang tackling going on right there. Daniel Rod thought there were more than 11 probably on the field.
John Howard kicks. Fisher and Edwards back, and they'll let that one roll into the end zone and come back out for a touchback. A 44-yard kick for Howard. And Harrison trying to get the offense up and running with 4:28 to go in the 1st. We talked about consistency in the opener for Randy Doss, and he's a guy that is going to have to show some leadership tonight to get this thing done. You kind of talked about it, that he may have a good 1st and 2nd, and then a bad 3rd and 4th, or a good 2nd and 3rd, and a bad 1st and 4th, and they can't seem to get him clicking on all cylinders.
Exactly. You can't. A game is 4 quarters, not 2. I'll give you a couple examples after the play.
Doss on 1st down, rolling out on the naked boot. Will keep it, and then throw. And has a man, Justin Foley. That's the big man we talked about, the tight end. It could be going Ivy League, 6'2", 230 senior, taken down by Matt Facillo.
Yeah, he's averaged over 18 yards per reception. He's caught 5 touchdown passes on 25 catches, so he's potent. He runs a good route, gets between linebackers and safeties, and obviously easy to locate that big fella. And Doss likes what's going on there. Get him on the edge. And throw the football in the crossing pattern to the big shallow cross to the big old tight end.
Best play of the night, 16-yard gain. Doss comes left side and throws this time. Goes up Dugan. Got it. Inside Redskin territory, inside their 45-yard line. The high jumper comes down with it for 21 yards.
Yeah, he's the conference champion in that regard, and they like getting him in these one-on-one matchups. Averaging over 22 yards per reception. I'll tell you, he can make the contested catch with his ability to get airborne and protect the football. Great body control exhibited right there by Dugan. Back-to-back completions of nice yards from Doss.
16 and 21 combined on those two. Handoff right side, and there is no room for Brandon Fisher. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
Here's an example of what the coaches were talking about with respect to Doss. Last week against Glen Estee, in the first half, he goes 0 for 4. He fumbles the football. Glen Estee takes back for a touchdown. Then in the second half, he goes 7 for 7 for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. So you can't be much more cold and hot than those numbers right there. Right now, tonight, particularly in the passing game, it looks like he's first half here off to a hot start.
He's a little warm on this drive. 2nd and 10 from the 42. Throwback. Foley gets some blocking and can take some hits. Foley with a little extra effort and yards after catch down to the 20-yard line as he picks up 22. Got a nice block from Ben Cole.
Yes, he did out in space. Ben Cole plays with his head and his heart. A quiet worker, number 76 in that white jersey. Watch 1,001, 1,002 release. It's a screen pass. Watch big old 76 get out in front. Nice little kick-out block right there on Bissinger. And off to the races goes the big tight end. Tight end screen, well executed by Harrison. 3 nicely designed passes in this drive.
1st and 10 from the 20. Doss to throw again, and Foley was there. Overthrew him just a little bit. Looked like he got held up as he was making his route. Stopped, hesitated, and the ball sailed past him. Brian Schlosser in coverage.
Doss does have a very strong throwing arm, and out of the shotgun, stands pretty tall in that pocket. Great vision. Ball just sailed on him just a little bit. I'll tell you what, I'd keep going back to big old Justin Foley, number 88. Double H right there, presents himself as a very big, nice target in the middle of the football field.
2nd down and 10 from the 20. Myers in motion now. And under pressure, Doss going to hold on to it. And he can make a little bit happen, a pickup of about 6. Down to the 14-yard line. And he made something out of absolutely nothing.
Remember, Doss has rushed for over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns coming in. And this is a broken play. I mean, this was not a designed deal. His back, it was totally disjointed in the backfield. I think a back went the wrong way for him. But he said, I'm going to take the football. I'm going to run to the hole that was called for the play. Even though the backs didn't go the right way, I'll hit that hole. And he made something out of nothing.
3rd down and 5 from the 15. Pitch right side. Fisher, and he will get down close to the 10-yard line where he needs to be for a 1st down.
Got to go for it if he didn't get it. I think he's going to be a little bit short. I don't think you settle for field goal here. I think you try to punch it in. This is a must-win situation. Little toss sweep. Anderson, nice job, nice run support on the edge, getting up the football field and stripping the blockers and making a nice tackle. Inside-out pursuit there was as well. Big snap right here for both football teams.
4th down and 1 on the season. They're 50%, 8 of 16. Doss will take it himself. Going to have an extra push. Running in right at the 10-yard line. It will depend on the spot. Sandman and McDonald were there right at the point of attack.
Nice second effort by Doss. If he got it, it was because of that second effort. At first blush, he was stoned, but then he regathered himself and had a second surge. Stone, slide, surge again. Second effort, I think, may have gotten him there. It's going to be very, very close.
It doesn't even look like the tip of the ball is at the 10. Will depend on where the sticks were set. They're bringing him out now.
He didn't get it.
Not get it.
Nope.
Inches short. And a big hold for the Redskins. In the red zone. Nice drive by the Wildcats, goes for naught.
It's like a turnover. You know, when you give the football up on downs, anywhere on the field, it's big. It's like fumbling the football. But in this case, in the red zone, or down almost 1st and goal for Anderson to hold is huge for that defensive football team. And it's just a real shot to the steam of Harrison right now.
So Redskins take over 1st and 10 from their 10. Drive to Slater straight up the middle. Kyle pushing towards the 15-yard line. Justin Sturgill in on the stop. A gain of 5. We're creeping down inside, 45 seconds to go in the 1st quarter. Daniel Rod, 2nd-year quarterback. Led the team to the state championship last year. Keep it himself. Breaks out of the first tackle, but won't get to the 20-yard line. He'll be stopped just short of the 19, Andrew Tumlin. We talked about him as a wrestler. 7th in his freshman year in state, 5th in his sophomore year in state, 3rd in his junior year in state, and hopes to win it all this year. He's been to the Chinese national tournament.
Junior USA team is a 189-pound wrestler. North Carolina State has offered him a wrestling scholarship. That's his pride and joy. His dream is to be a wrestler, and that's exactly the way he's headed.
Well, the Redskins have wrestled a 7-0 lead into the first quarter. They'll take it into the second on a 56-yard run by Slater. We'll be back to start the second from Anderson Township right after this. 7-0 Anderson on Slater's 56-yard run. And the Redskins face a 3rd and 1 from their own 19-yard line. Rod gives it to Slater. He's got the 1. And a new set it down. Let's throw it down to the field. 3rd member of our crew, Dave Lapham Jr.
Thanks, Brad. One thing you'll want to notice with Anderson on offense, all their skill position guys have the wristbands with the plays on them. It allows the hand signals. They do a quick huddle, and they get to the line of scrimmage very quickly. They can dictate tempo that way. They can shift formations that way, put stress on the defense, and it gives Rod more time to survey the defense, read coverages, and make decisions.
And gives him more time to break out. Rod taking it near midfield. Big play. Moving the chains before Jordan Bond takes him down. He picks up 27.
Yeah, all they have to really do is signal in a number, and that would probably be the number on the list of the play. And Rod is a guy that knows the offense as well as the coaches. He knows the offense inside out. He makes great decisions. Little zone read right there. Harrison thought they were going to run the inside zone, and the defensive end crashed down too severe an angle on the backside, and Rod made him pay the price, punished him.
New set of downs from their own 49. And now into Wildcat territory. About the 44-yard line. Pickup of 6 before Brian Edwards takes Slater down. Nice block again by Louis Perez, who seems to be doing that on a regular basis.
Louis Perez is a very versatile guy. He'll be a lead blocker as a fullback, and then he'll return punts for you too. He's taken a couple of punts back for touchdown, averaging over 16 yards per punt return.
On 2nd down and 2. They work it to Perez, flag down on the field as he gets the first down.
Man, an illegal block out there in space.
Edwards and Peters on the stop, and it is on Anderson. This one will come back.
Well-designed play, though. I mean, Anderson's offense is very, very creative. There's no question about that. Your keys as a linebacker and in the secondary, you have to be very, very sharp. You saw Rod, like Dave was talking about, just look to the sideline. Everybody, look at them all, look at the wristband, like Dave was saying. They all get on the same page. They don't really even have to talk all that much. Slater and Rod are talking it over. And what we'll see that wristband, even the linemen have them. Everybody's got that little Velcro wristband. There's the big lineman got the same thing. So they can basically get themselves on the same page with respect to protections. Everything's written out on those wristbands, play sheets.
See the total yards so far on the day on 2nd down and 8. Quick hit left side, nice spin move by Jason Bruner, and Bruner will take the yards after catch. He's in the open. Bruner to the end zone. Touchdown.
He fumbled the ball, but after he crossed the plane of the goal line, the ball came out. It doesn't matter when the ball came out. Once the tip of the football crosses the very beginning of the goal line, everything else is moot.
A 51-yard touchdown reception by Jason Bruner, and he did a lot of that on his own. Take a look again.
We're talking about yards after catch. I mean, that's a 1-yard completion. Spin away, make another miss, accelerate, cut back, use your blockers. Great balance. Look around, see who's in pursuit. Cut it up inside, put your shoulder pads down, cross the goal line. Doesn't matter if you don't have the ball in your possession anymore. What a fantastic effort by Bruner.
John Howard for the extra point. Up and good. And so a 4th and inches that is stopped by the Redskin is turned around and turned into another 7 points.
90-yard drive.
Bruner, the last 51. It's 14-0 Anderson. Back in Anderson Township, Dave, this was special play for Jason Bruner, and he got a little bit of help.
Yeah, he did, but Jason Bruner initially, watch him set up Jordan Stewart here. Here comes Jordan Stewart. Whoop! Cut back inside. Now, watch the big lineman down the football field, getting some extras. Greg Mance, number 72, down the football field through a block. Look at everybody helping Bruner down the field. I mean, great plays, long plays come with teammates that make blocks down the football field. John Runk, who's going to Yale, very intelligent young man. He knows if he gets downfield and throws a block for Bruner, that this could turn into a major touchdown, and it did.
So Howard will let this one go. Brandon Fisher, Randy Doss, Josh Dugan all back to receive. 10:18 to go in the first half. High and short. Doss will take it across the 20-yard line out to the 25, pushing the pile past that. Take one more look at Mr. Bruner.
You know, fake throwing the ball out to the right, little dump off pass to the left, the spin move, the balance, the determination, the vision down the football field. There's the big block downfield by the offensive lineman. He got himself one man down the football field. And I'll tell you, Runk was down there as well. You have to have hustle. I mean, big plays come when teammates get down the football field to the second and third level and make the second and third blocks for you.
So 1st and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 26, in desperate need of a little bit of offense. Quick hit across the 30, 35, 40. Nice move as he hits Sam Eckel. Michael Tincher takes him down. The Wildcats had it moving on their last drive, just couldn't cash in.
Yeah, they're doing a better job of spreading the field out and getting some one-on-ones in the edge and throwing the football. Right when they try to run the ball between the tackles, Anderson's too stout. Harrison's not able to run the football at all. Anderson's able to do both. Anderson's more balanced offensively now. Harrison has to throw it.
From the 42, a new set of downs. And met in the backfield. And thrown for a loss. Joe Walla was right there as if he had no blocker on him. All right, you ready, Dave?
Gotcha.
Tradition. Start a new one this season, Cincinnati.com. It's the best place online to view all the action for your school and your team. Watch a replay of tonight's broadcast. Get schedules, scores, and stats, photos, video blogs, and more. Only at Cincinnati.com. Search high school sports.
We're on the roof, almost. We're up here. No fiddling going on.
We may have the fiddler with us in a moment.
Yes, sir.
Doss to throw. Little high, picked off. He was looking for Foley, and Kevin Kripe picked his pocket.
And Kripe's the guy. Kevin Kripe is the big-time player back there in the secondary. And in big games, big players step up and make plays for you. He's got great technique. He's very intelligent. This one, though, just overthrown, and he's got to make that play. He's reading the quarterback's eyes. He's breaking on the receiver, and on the receiver, Eckel, and makes the play on him.
I think he threw it over Foley and over Eckel. I don't think Eckel even had a chance at it. Foley over the middle, and he's a big guy, way high over him. So it's 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line. Redskins looking to add to their 14-point lead already. Flags all over the place.
Got an illegal shift there, illegal formation.
Quick hit to Runk. And they were a little confused as Chris Stamper makes the stop.
Well, that's the pistol formation that Anderson was running. They shot a blank. wasn't live ammo. Illegal shift right there. Illegal procedure. He was going to signal illegal shift. Two were moving at the same time.
That's Runk coming across.
Now you don't have enough men on the line of scrimmage. One of them has to get up. They were both off the line of scrimmage. You only have 6 men on the line of scrimmage. That is not a legal formation. You have to have 7. The receiver that went in motion or the outside receiver has to step up in the line of scrimmage to make it a legal one.
Let Jeff know there's still no formation.
Second down. straight through and into Wildcat territory, and the pile pushes all the way past the chains and to another first down inside the 43-yard line.
Anderson overcomes that that little penalty, that little mental mistake very, very easily. And this is just coming off the line of scrimmage and everybody getting their hat on people, and then a talented back just running people over. Look at him just push that pile. I mean, that is some serious leg strength, amazing leg drive.
Slater again, 1st and 10 from the 43. Pushing the pile one more time inside the 40-yard line.
You know, the thing about Slater is he's in such great condition. I mean, they call his number repeatedly. You know, when you have a big gun, keep firing it. But he just seems to never tire. Outstanding shape.
Tyler Peters in on the stop, making it 2nd and 7 from the 40. Rod to throw. Has a man wide open run inside the 5 to the goal line. Stopped at the 1. He couldn't get in.
Just short.
He stopped himself.
Yeah, could not quite get his balance to extend the ball to the goal line. He lost his balance and was stumbling and could not quite gain it and stretch himself out.
34-yard reception.
Little play-action pass, and Runt just runs right by the secondary. They have their eyes in the wrong spot, but as Runt does the 360 to catch the football, he staggers a little bit, cannot keep his balance, stretches the ball. Oh, just short. Ball hits down on the half-yard line. Good call by the official right on the spot.
1st and goal from the 1. Rod will give it to Slater. Diving into the end zone. There's a jumper.
That's a paratrooper. He joined the parachute club right there.
Man. Slater with his 2nd touchdown on the night. The first of 56-yard run. This one from 1 yard out.
Now he's got 20 rushing touchdowns on the season. 20 rushing touchdowns. He's caught one. He's had a kickoff return. 22 total touchdowns. The swinging gate by Anderson. Harrison covers it up properly. They cover their responsibilities well. So Anderson says, well, I'll just line up and kick it then.
Slater getting his congratulations as John Howard will add the extra point with Rod to hold. Up and through. They're piling it on now, the Redskins. The defending state champs up 21-0. Leaping for joy. We'll be back to Anderson Township after this. Back in Anderson Township.
Look where this. Look where Slater comes from on this particular play. Slater comes all the way from the opposite side of the formation, and there he is. And here he comes, up and over. Nice blocking up front, man. From the 1 yard line, that was too easy. Marty Brenneman can jump like that. He's got some vertical.
He still can.
I'm telling you, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, the Anderson Township favorite, Marty Brenneman in the booth with us. How are you, big fella?
Brad Lepp, I'm doing fine. How you guys doing?
The Hall of Famer, unbelievable, is in the house,
I'm
baby.
thrilled to death you guys are out here in Anderson Township. This is big.
We're happy to be here tonight. Kickoff straight back through, and Doss will take it. Out across the 20. I was just talking about you, listening to your voice just a couple of days ago.
Yes.
October 20th, 1990.
Yes.
The final out.
Was that it? Was that the day?
2-1, and they swept the Oakland A's for the last year. We were trying to remember something good that happened in Cincinnati sports this week, and that's what we took ourselves back.
That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good highlight over the last 18 or 19 years.
I'm telling you.
Not bad.
Because on the Bengals side of things, in the last 18 years, they've had 8 7-game losing streaks. Almost half the seasons that they have included a 7-game losing streak.
Doss to throw on first down. He's going to have to make something happen, and he does. Positive yardage as he is drilled out of bounds by Tony Martini. So what are you doing with yourself? Is it golf, and then some more golf?
It is. I mean, as you well know, in this city at this time of the year, you got to get in as much as you can while you can, because you're under the gun now as far as the weather is concerned.
That's true.
Yeah, I played a lot since the season ended, and I don't foresee there being a whole lot of larger opportunities down the road in the days to come, I'm afraid.
Now, I'll tell you what, the boys in September gave a little bit of hope for next year, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did, Brad. I think the young players they have are going to be good, not only good players, but better than good. I mean, you got people like Votto and Bruce and Phillips and Volquez and Cueto and some of the other kids. I think you're beginning to see some light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
Now, obviously, they've got to go out and do some things this winter if they want to appreciably improve upon what they did this year.
And you know, Marty, I'm proud and privileged to be working with my son in these high school games, because I was envious. One of the reasons I wanted to do this, I was envious of the fact that Marty and Tom Brenneman, a very distinguished alum of Anderson High School, working together. And after this play, talk about some of the things that Tom and Marty have accomplished.
3rd and 3 from the 28. And Hayes is going nowhere. He won't even get to the 30-yard line. They just can't get it done. Jake Lackner on the stop.
Okay, courtesy of our good friend Big Daddy Wags, Tom and Marty are the only father-son broadcasting duo as we see this play being stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Nah, baby, nah, as Willie would say. They're the only father-son broadcasting duo in Major League Baseball that each call a perfect game, World Series for their team, a pitcher's 3,000 strikeout, and a pitcher's record 20-game strikeout. That is amazing.
It's a long list.
Only Wags could come up with that stat. Only Wags could come up with it.
Perez takes it.
And I was privileged to do the Cotton Bowl with Tom a few times and enjoyed that. And Tom's the lead voice for Fox Sports BCS Championship games. And of course, he does Major League Baseball and NFL on Fox. Very, very astute broadcaster, Mr. Brennan.
And on top of all that, Lap, he is a closet Ohio State fan.
Is that right?
Closet.
No penalty there because he's blocked into the punter.
Well, they actually did throw a flag on him.
Boy, they should pick it up because he was blocked into the punter. I mean, if he's contacted by a blocker and goes into the punter, all bets are off. Let's take another look. Let's see. He's blocked into the punter. That is not a penalty. I mean, I don't know. It's not in the NFL or the college level. Maybe it is in the high school level. They protect him a little bit more, but Sturgill blocks him right into the punter.
Yeah, they got Racer on the penalty, and it will keep Harrison's drive alive. 1st and 10 from their own 45. Doss will keep it. And the legs will get him into Redskin territory before he is knocked out. A pickup of about 8 before Kevin Kripe takes him down.
I'll tell you, Jeff Keasting, guys, has done an amazing job. He's 20-4 now and 8-1 in conference as a head football coach, and just doing a remarkable job. And this is it started with Vince Suriano.
It surely did. There's one of the fine high school football coaches. I mean, Jeff came in and did a hell of a job last season, but Vince is the guy that laid the groundwork here.
Yep, the foundation was built.
2nd down and 2 from the 48. Big gainer to Hayes inside the 35-yard line, down to about the 33 before Bissinger takes him down.
I don't know. I don't think you have to be a football Einstein to realize that Harrison's throwing the ball better than they're running it. I mean, I think I'd throw the ball three times to every rush. They've got Anderson on their heels a little bit in the passing game.
And Zach Loneman.
Is that a legal substitution there?
I think he took a quick step in the backfield before the play got going. Now, Marty, you say they've got to go out and get some guys, the Reds.
I think they've got to get a right-handed bat, Brad, a guy that can drive in runs, with some power. They're so top-heavy from the left side of the plate, and they were all year long last season. They simply have to come up with one, and the optimum situation would be to come up with 2 pretty solid right-hand hitters, and that might be too much to ask for, but they definitely have to get one.
Can they get a certain Colorado Rocky, do you think?
I don't know. I keep hearing his name. Lord help me. I can't say it. But everywhere you turn, you hear the name. But I think a lot of teams would have a lot of interest in Matt Holliday. If Colorado lets out the word that they're interested in trading.
Yeah.
And where do you think the money situation now lies with the Castellini situation? Now, are they going to be that aggressive to go after a Matt Holliday? And
the thing that people have to understand, I'm sure people are trying to do the math, and they say, this club's going to have a lot of money to spend this winter. But I think one thing that people overlook, Ken Griffey Jr. gets $9 million right off the top. They are into him for $45 million in deferred money.
Wow.
He gets $9 million a year over the next 5 years. That is a chunk of money. You could pay 3 players with that kind of money.
That's good eats right there.
Oh, brother.
Who do you have to thank for that, Marty?
What about Manram? Huh? 27, 28 million. Right.
But is he something?
He is amazing.
He is unbelievable, Manny Ramirez.
When he went down and got that low, I mean, he just
and hit
totally
it
bent his
deep
knee
into the seats in left center.
I mean, Jackson.
I know he did.
I was like, how the heck do you do that?
You know, purely for selfish reasons, I hope that the Dodgers can re-sign him, or if they don't, somebody in the National League does. I'd love to see him stay in this league.
Do you think
He's fun to watch.
He really is.
Do you think that, I mean, he's looking for a 6-year deal. That would take him to, what, 45 years old? I mean, I can see him getting a 1 or 2 year deal for about 27, 28.
I think he's going to have a hard time getting that many years at his age, even though he is in incredible physical condition.
Right.
I can't imagine anybody giving him a 6. I can't imagine anybody giving him a 4-year deal.
Well, it's not even his years. It's the way he acts.
Yeah.
You never know what he's going to do from year to year as to whether or not he's actually going to be on your
I'll
team.
tell you what, when the young man's happy now,
he can hit
do some damage.
He can do some hitting.
He is amazing. Is he the best right-handed hitter of his era?
Oh, I think so. And I think he'll go down as one of the top 5 right-handed hitters in the history of baseball.
Yeah.
Without any question.
With Joe DiMaggio and who else do you throw in there?
Yeah, you got to throw Ty Cobb in. I don't even know if he's a left-handed or right-handed. I don't know. But no, top 5, he's got to be.
I agree.
His numbers are going to be staggering.
Finally back in action on 1st and 15. Doss will keep it and just get back to the 35-yard line.
Well, Harrison's got to score. They have to get back in this football game. They're down 3 scores with about 4.5 minutes to play. They cannot mess around anymore in the red zone. Anderson had a big stop on downs just outside the 10-yard line, and Anderson's offense responded to Anderson's defensive stand, took it the length of the field and scored.
2nd down and 12 from the 35. Doss, quick hit to Hayes, incomplete, knocked away, had Foley right behind him. Anglem was there. He's made a bunch of plays tonight. Marty, I feel unworthy here, doing play-by-play with you in the booth. Why don't I just go down, grab a bribe, and you hang on and just do this? You and Lap goof off, and I'll see you after half.
It's been 34 years since I've done a football game. So you're doing just fine.
It's like riding a bicycle, though.
I don't know about that.
3rd down and 12, ball at the 35. Myers in motion. Doss going long, got Dugan out there, and he dropped it.
Wow.
It hung up a while, and he had some Redskins in his face, including Jason Bruner, and Dugan couldn't come down with it.
I think Bruner's the one that obscured his vision, and we saw Bruner make the great catch and run after catch. Watch number 12 come into the picture and grabbed his face mask, got his hand in his grill, and that, you can't do that, really. I mean, you talk about face guarding. I mean, he grabbed his grill. And that's the reason that the ball's incomplete. You have to give Bruner an outstanding A+ there for hustle, but he got away with one there.
4th down and 12. They will go for it from the 35-yard line of the Redskins. Doss to throw again. Big man. Foley got laid out across the middle, and boy, he set him up on that one inside the 20-yard line.
Again.
Incomplete, and they'll turn it over on downs.
Oh, Bruner made the big hit. Bruner's the safety out there. There's
crack.
Pads popping right there. And I'll tell you, it's good to see the big boy up and off the field under his own power, Justin Foley. And sometimes when you lay a hit like that, you hurt yourself more than you hurt the opponent. I think both of them got shaken up a little bit and trying to clear some cobwebs, but I think they're both going to be okay and back in action.
So another venture into Anderson territory comes up with nothing for the Wildcats.
Boy, the big boy collecting his thoughts over there.
Bornhauser at quarterback, and he is dropped for a loss, or right near the line of scrimmage. Justin Herbert in on the stop.
You know, you got to make sure that your neck's okay. You see Justin Foley flexing his head from side to side. You take a shot like that, not only do you have to make sure that your head is clear from a concussion standpoint, you have to make sure that your neck is all right and it wasn't stretched out.
2nd down and 9. And a pickup of about 7 inside the 45-yard line goes Slater, C.J. Rivera, and Herbert on another stop.
Remember, big old number 88, Justin Foley, is #1 in his class. Very, very smart young man. I bet his mom's saying, why the heck is a smart guy like you doing this?
That's what your mom said about you.
That's exactly right. She sure did. More than once.
They're down in 3 from the 42. Slater again, and on second, third, fourth effort, we'll take it out to midfield for a first down. Hey, you...
Marty, you were saying before the game that Slater is being looked at as...
I was told, I went to see him play at Milford last week, and a guy told me that there are some D1 schools looking at him as a possible defensive safety.
I could see that. With his speed and range, I could see that very much.
First and 10, their own 49. And just into Wildcat territory. Well, you were so honored, and I know you said it probably doesn't get a whole lot bigger than this. Marty Brenneman Field, somewhere over in this neighborhood this summer. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That.
It was a real thrill for me, Brad. I mean, for a guy that never played anything and couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time, to have a baseball field named after him where kids play all the time, and it was within walking distance of where I lived. It was a thrill for me. It really was.
Rod to throw, incomplete, had a man open. He was looking for Bruner out there. Herbert was in on the pressure.
What will it feel like? I mean, what does it feel like when you realize your grandkids, your great-grandkids, they could be playing on that very field?
Well, it's kind of humbling is what it is. I mean, it's something that obviously is not going to go away anytime soon. And I'd love to think that Tom's son Luke would one day be able to play on that field. It would be big. It really
Third
would be.
down.
Where exactly is the field, Marty?
It's off of Clough Pike, which is, you could drive to the field in 10 minutes from here.
There you go.
Third and long. Anderson has not found themselves in a third and long situation very often. That's why Harrison declined the penalty against Anderson. Instead of being second and long, they decide they'll stay third and long instead of second and 14, third and 9.
Well, telling stat there. Harrison yet to convert on a third down, and Rod to throw with all kinds of time. Got his man? No, incomplete. Couldn't hang on, out of bounds. Colt Gibson was there on Slater.
Slater ran out of field. That's a good job by Harrison on the defensive side of it, using the sideline as the 12th defender, realizing that you got to get at least 1 foot down in bounds. Could not get either. Nice job of using the sideline to your advantage by Colton Gibson.
So fourth down and 9 from midfield. A little shank and out of bounds just inside the 30-yard line. Brandon Fisher never had a chance to touch it, but Harrison needs something in the last minute 54 of this first half. Ball players, coaches, band members going to be receiving a copy of tonight's game courtesy of your local Grange insurance agents. Additional copies can be purchased at www.gametapes.com. So it's turning cold, Marty, and I know you. You're not going to go out in sweaters and boots and gloves and stuff. So what are you going to do when this weather?
Marty hibernates when it gets real cold. I fly under the radar when it gets real cold.
You're going to have to find a different state to play golf in.
That's the truth, boy.
First and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 30-yard line. Doss to throw again. Got Dugan and has room. Good open field tackle by Tincher. They're going to have to hurry up here.
Yep, they're going to have to go into their attack mode, the 2-minute mode.
Michael Tincher on the stop. Plays good for a...
Oh!
Doss on a quick hit and a great grab just to be able to pull it down. Dylan Myers.
It almost went the other way. Woo. That was almost a pick-6 time.
Nice one-hander. And Luke Bissinger was right there.
Take a look at this athletic play right there. I mean, if he does not spear it with that one hand, Anderson was breaking on the football very, very aggressively on the backside. Bissinger was, and he was going to grab it and take it the other way.
The call at second down and 10. Clock stopped with 1:32 to go in the first half. Plenty of time for Doss. Flag. Looks like holding. And he got labeled as he crossed the 45-yard line. Took it out of bounds to stop it at 122.
The boys are popping it down there a little bit, and he's slow to get up. That was an ear hole shot, and that's who we were talking about. Back in action, Adam Bigelow dislocated his kneecap against Mason. He took 22 snaps last week against Milford, and this kid can really run, and he packs a powerful punch. And that time, that was one heck of a punch he delivered right there. Totally legal on Randy Doss.
Take a look at this one more time as they decide, and it looks like they're going to move the ball back on the holding penalty.
Bigelow in pursuit, and actually the big hit was leveled by Strasser. Bigelow in pursuit. Kind of, you don't want to be the meat of that kind of sandwich, you know. You don't want to be in the middle of those.
Marty could take a hit like that.
Marty's taken a lot of hits like that over the years.
You still remember him?
A lot of hits, golf balls, whatever it might be.
Yeah, how about our boy Hugs?
Oh, no, please.
On 2nd and 22,
you got to tell that story.
Oh, he hit me with a golf ball.
I know, he smoked you with a golf ball.
John Burns and I and Hugs are playing out at the Ridge Club. On the first hole, we tee off, and I'm about 50 yards up on the left side. He hits a ball that never got higher than that off the ground. He hit me in the right calf, and I thought I was going to die.
It's like you got shot, huh?
But I refused to quit because he was there.
All right, and now I'll give it to Huggins that he shouldn't have done that, but here's my question.
Yes.
It's the first hole.
I know.
What are you 50 yards up in front of him for?
And I was told, you be careful now. John Burns said, I said, I'm not, he can't hit me. That's not going to happen. Yes, it did.
That's beautiful. Did you beat him on a scorecard that day?
Yeah, but anybody could beat him.
Yeah.
Right.
That's too easy.
How much swelling? How big that calf?
It was awful. And my ankle filled with blood the next day.
Oh,
you've been there.
Oh, yeah.
You've been there.
Oh, yeah.
There were some football injuries. Mine was a golf injury.
All right, now, Marty, you watched these guys take it all the way to state last year.
Yep.
Give us a comparison, this team to last.
Well, you know, I think both of you guys will agree. You've been around this business long enough. In order to, you got to be good, but you also got to be very lucky.
Yep.
And, you know, they were like 3-2 after the first 5 games, and then they ran the table the rest of the way. I really, truly believe in many respects this is as good or better a team than the one they had last year. I think they're very susceptible to the passing game, which I think can hurt them as they go into the playoffs. But with a kid like Slater and a battle-tested quarterback like Daniel Rod and the Perez kid, they've got a great offense.
Doss to throw long, looking for Dugan out there. Too wide.
I think they're starting to gain momentum at the right time. They've won 3 in a row. They're up in this one. And there's only been 5 quarters that all the starters have played together this season. They've had a lot of injury and had to respond to the adversity of injury. And that means everybody's got a lot of reps. And so I think they're deep. I mean, I think they can withstand an injury in the playoffs and still overcome it.
And the other thing, you touched on it, Dave, they were so beat up physically early to key people.
Right.
And now, a game away going into the playoffs next week, they are just about 100% healthy.
Right.
Perez back deep. Will field it on the bounce. Take it out to about the 38-yard line.
But I'll tell you, winning a state championship, it's the single greatest thing that's ever happened to this school athletically. And you talk about bringing a community together. It was just unbelievable the run they had at the end of the year.
And you saw the luck you talked about, Marty. The snap goes airborne, and it still ends up in the hands of the quarterback, and he's able to do something with it. Daniel Rod and raising the trophy right there.
That was big.
That was Truesdale's big catch. Now playing at UC.
And there's another guy that they've missed. They don't have a big-time receiver like that. All you got to do is throw it up in the air, and he goes and gets it.
Right.
And he can go get it, couldn't he?
Yes.
Rod to throw on first down and all kinds of time. Looking long. Got Perez out there. Inside the 30-yard line. Louis Perez with another big play.
Perez is a talented kid. I mean, He does a lot of things with the football, and he does a lot of things when he doesn't have the football in his hands. He's an outstanding blocker. He kind of has a little TJ Hushmanzada in him, the way he plays football. And the ball slightly underthrown makes him stop to make a play on it, but good execution.
Got 36 on that. Flag on the field as Runk takes it inside the 20-yard line and out of bounds, stopping the clock with 26 seconds to go in the first half.
Now did Harrison line up off sides, or did Anderson only have 6 men on the line of scrimmage again? Illegal shift on Anderson.
5 yards, still first down.
Illegal shift is the penalty call against Anderson.
So move it back 1st and 15 with the ball at the 31-yard line. And 26 seconds to work with. Rod had the ball batted down, looking for Runk again. Batted down by Jordan Stewart. That will stop the clock with 23 seconds remaining.
Take a look at Jordan Stewart doing a good job of getting in the passing lane, getting that big right mucker up and spearing it to the turf.
2nd and 15 for Rod. Throws in a crowd. Perez is there again to take it inside the 25-yard line, back inside the original line of scrimmage. Tom Mullins on the tackle. They stop the clock with 16 seconds left. Timeout called by Anderson, and Rod will get some instructions here.
Anderson does have the ability to hit you with the big play, and that's one thing that Harrison wanted to do. They wanted to keep everything in front of them and make Anderson run multiple play drives. You get 10, 12 play drives, you increase your opportunity to make a mistake, was Harrison's philosophy. But Anderson's been able to sneak some people behind him, and when you run the ball as well as they have, that play action pass becomes very effective. And Coach Giesting's liking what he sees right now.
One more timeout remaining for the Redskins in the final 16 seconds here.
Harrison didn't want to get in a track meet. So far, just one-team sprinters are out of the box, of the blocks.
He's got 2 wide right, 1 wide left. Slater in the backfield does Rod on 3rd and 8 from the 24. Plenty of time to throw, going end zone. It is caught. Touchdown.
What a pass.
What a pass. What a catch. Jason Bruner with big plays all night.
I'll tell you what, Bruner beat double coverage. Daniel Rod said, I trust Bruner. And he put the ball up where Harrison had pretty good coverage. Threw it right into double coverage, and Bruner and Daniel Rod beat it. A little swinging gate extra point again. They come set for the kick of the extra point. Boy, Anderson can go big on you. They can make the big play. The explosives are there for them.
It's a serious dagger with 10 seconds remaining in the first half. Howard with the extra point. And the Redskins pouring it on. Big plays will kill you before half. Take a look at this one, Rod to Bruner.
What a big night Bruner's having. He's played excellent football at the safety position, watched thread the needle and beat double coverage. And Bruner says, you know, I can get behind both of them. And he did. He got behind Gibson and he got behind Edwards and beat them both. And Daniel Rod said, I'm going to put it up there, big boy, reward me.
2 catches, 75 yards for Jason Bruner in the touchdown.
2 touchdowns.
And Rod had absolutely all day to throw. He was back in his rocking chair looking for his man.
And remember, Bruner had the defensive player where he grabbed the grill and got away with it. Good hustle there. And he's the one that put the big hit on the tight end, Justin Foley. That big hit that separated him from the football. Bruner has done things on both sides of the football tonight. He stepped up big time to show himself. The bright lights are good for Bruner. He likes the bright lights.
Likes
he likes
it when the lights go on.
Yes.
Howard will hit it short. Up back, taking just inside the 20 and across the 25-yard line. It's Tumlin. He's just short of the 30 with 4 seconds remaining in the first half. Let's take a look from the end zone camp.
One thing you can't have happen when you have two defensive backs back, you can't let somebody get deeper than you. You have to be deeper than the deeper receiver on the football field if you have two back there. Gibson and Edwards are back there, but they still let Bruner get behind them. You just can't let that occur, and they paid a heavy price by allowing it to happen. One of those safeties was supposed to be deeper than the deepest receiver on the football field.
Harrison will make the pitch, and Hayes will take it across the 30, and that will take us to halftime. So Harrison had their opportunities but couldn't get it done. Well, the Hall of Famer, have you had about enough?
I'm out of here.
Marty Brennaman, thanks so much for joining us.
Legend.
Oh, man. Hey, how about getting a win in Houston on Sunday?
Can we do it? That's what I was going to ask you. We're struggling here.
Get a win. I like to see the Fitzpatrick kid have a big game.
We're all about that, Marty.
I really would.
Thanks, my friend. Hall of Famer Marty Brennaman joining us in the booth. We're going to take it to have here as Anderson is up 28-0. And before we head to halftime, let's head down on the field. Dave Lapham Jr.
Thanks, Brad. I'm here with Coach Giesting. Coach, I think this tempo is kind of set by your defense early, the 3 and out and then the stop on 4th down. What was the key to their big effort early on?
Well, they've really come together. I think they're really playing hard together and playing for each other. And our defense is kind of unsung. They bend, but they don't break. And that 4th down stop was huge for us. We thought they'd probably quarterback sneak. We talked about that during the week. And, our guys are making plays. We made some plays on defense, and we're making some great plays on offense. Bruner's just, he's being Bruner. He just does everything right all the time.
And you mentioned it, the defense, offense makes the big plays. The key to the initial touchdown, big run.
Yeah, I mean, we're that's one of our big things is run the stretch into the boundary. People know that, and we still had success with it. And Kyle's very comfortable with that play. He runs it very well.
Well, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Back up to you, Brad.
Dave, I would say he runs it very well. 56 yards he went on the first touchdown, and it's been all Anderson from there.
That's a nice start to the football game to go yard like that over half a football field on your first carry.
And Jason Bruner from there has been a star. These guys are working for that star of the night, aren't they?
It's going to be a tough pick.
28-0 Anderson. We're at halftime. We'll be back right after this.
Birthdays are huge in the eyes of a child.
Birthday rules. I get the big piece.
As your birthdays go by, it's more about planning and portfolios. So ask your Grange independent agent what Grange can bring to the party. Our life insurance policies are designed to protect your assets. Nothing beats the feeling of seeing your kid smile at her birthday party, except the feeling of knowing that her future is secure.
See Kramer Myers and Waring Dickerson Insurance at our Batavia and Blanchester offices.
Your partner in protection.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Charles L. Brown Stadium, Anderson Township, where Anderson leads over Harrison 28-0. And welcome to our Meyer halftime report. Hi, everybody. A beautiful day has turned into a cool and breezy night, but a great night for football on senior night here at Anderson High School. I'm Jeff Picoro, and I'm joined now by the announcer here at Anderson, Chad Cunningham. Chad, we appreciate you stopping by.
How you doing, Jeff?
Having a chat with us for a little while.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, you've been here for quite some time here at Anderson, and last year, what a great tradition this school has, first off. And last year, Anderson breaks through with their first state championship. I know the people over here were absolutely berserk.
I tell you what, it was a special time here in the Anderson Township community. We've never had a state championship, a team state championship here at Anderson High School, and last year we kind of snuck up on everybody, and it was such a great privilege for me. All I do is the announcing, and I got to follow them all the way to the state championship, and brought home the state championship. First team state championship in Anderson High School history.
23 individual state titles, but the first one, not in basketball, not soccer, it happened in football first. And really, that's brought this whole area together, hasn't it?
I tell you what, it's many people don't realize, but Turpin High School also in the district as well. Turpin and Anderson considered two of the best high school football teams last year in 2007. Either one of those teams could have won the state championship. Fortunately for Anderson, we pulled out the win against Turpin, but it's just been a different community here after winning the state championship. Everybody's excited. We're looking for another playoff run here in 2008.
Chad, a lot of people say this could be the year for Winton Woods. They got you earlier in the season. I know that the team and you are looking forward to a rematch, aren't you?
Well, just looking at what I've seen here tonight, you can put Winton Woods right on this field right now. And like I said, I'm just the announcer, but I think Anderson could give them a run for their money right now. They're playing the way that they are tonight.
All right, well, tonight is senior night, so we won't hear from the band tonight, but they've made some great, they've had some great accomplishments this year as well, haven't they?
Well, you know, Jeff, it's pretty exciting. As announcer of the Redskins, I kind of get to announce all of the different activities here, many of the different activities. Football, not just one of them, of course. The marching band, as you mentioned, I was actually in the marching band here at Anderson High School, so something near and dear to my heart, the Anderson High School marching band. But they're accomplishing a whole lot. They are 7-time state final qualifiers. They're getting ready to go up to the state finals here on Sunday coming up, and looking for a superior rating, which would be a rating of a 1, coming up on Sunday for the Anderson High School Marching Band.
All right, we've talked a lot about athletics and the band, but what about academics? Because I know that is very strong here at Anderson High School.
You know, you can kind of put, everybody wants to talk about high school football, everybody wants to talk about the bands and the other activities, but Anderson High School, the Forest Hill School District, known for academics as well. And of course, you know, let's be honest, academics is first and foremost for an athlete in high school. Academics should be first and foremost. Anderson High School rated for the 8th time in a row as an excellent award nominated by the state of Ohio. The whole entire Forest Hill School District rated excellence in the state of Ohio as well in education and academics.
And that's why they're called student athletes.
You got that right. Student before athlete, right?
There you go. All right, well, go rest your voice. You're going to have a busy second half, I think.
Thank you very much. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on out tonight.
Great job. Thanks.
Thank you.
Nice
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. All right, it was a very busy first half, and let's show you the highlights. And Anderson got on the board quickly. Third play from scrimmage. Kyle Slater takes the handoff. He'd have scored in touch football. 56 yards to pay dirt. With the extra point, Anderson quickly had a 7-0 lead. It is a double-edged attack here. Daniel Rod hooks up with Jason Bruner. Look at the spin move, and then somehow he weaves his way through traffic. 10 Harrison players had a shot at him. Bruner ends up diving into the end zone. That's 6, 49-yard touchdown pass, and it's 14-0 Anderson. Rod again goes deep. This time it's John Rupp with the catch. He goes down just short of the goal line at the 1, and it's Slater again. He goes up and over into the end zone, and just like that, it's 21-0 Anderson. But they weren't done. Late in the second quarter, just 10 seconds left. Rod hooks up with Jason Bruner again, who lays out a spectacular catch. The 24-yard post pattern to pay dirt with the extra point. Anderson had a 28-0 lead, and that's where we stand. Let's take a look at our Meyer halftime stats, and pretty one-sided for Anderson. Over 300 yards already, 107 passing yards for Harrison. First downs even at 7 apiece, 1 big turnover, and again, Harrison stopped at the 11-yard line on 4th and 1, and a big turnover, third down conversions. That's also a big key in the game. 0 for Harrison, 2 for Anderson, and again, 4 touchdowns, 28-0. Anderson leads. Stay with us, still plenty more to come from the half. It's the Meyer Halftime Report. All right, it's time now to hear the band, and tonight it's a Blues Brothers theme. The Harrison High School Marching Wildcats are under the direction of Miss Megan Forcinelli. The marching band consists of 55 wind and percussion members. Their 2008 show, entitled Blues Brothers, features their own Jake and Elwood Blues and includes show tunes I Can't Turn You Loose, Soul Man, Shake a Tail Feather, and Think. The marching band performs at numerous events throughout the year, including football games, parades, and other community outreach performances. Well, just what we needed on this cold night. If that doesn't get your blood going, I don't know what will. How about that Harrison High School Marching Wildcat Band and Miss Megan Forcellini? How about that? And the Blues Brothers as well. Boy, great first half. 28-0. Anderson leads over Harrison. Coming back, Brad Johansson and Dave Lapham will have all the second half action. It's the Meijer Halftime Report.
Tonight's game on FSN Ohio is brought to you by J.J. Huddle, Ohio's high school sports leader, and by Beacon Orthopedic. Beacon has opened its third office in Batesville, Indiana. Weekday and weekend sports injury clinic appointments are available by calling 513-354-3700. Toll-free number from Indiana, call 1-888-773-4353.
Welcome back to Thursday night high school football presented by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. 28-0 Anderson, and it was all Anderson in the first half. Dave, you and I talked about it during the break. A 4th and 1, a quarterback sneak, and it totally changed the game. Harrison finishes deep in that territory. They're down at about the 10-yard line. They make that 1 yard, get it in. You've got a tie game at 7, and the whole thing could change.
It could, but
it didn't.
Anderson took that football and marched down the field and scored. And Anderson, how about their balance? Threw for 156, rushed for 160. That's balance. They threw 2 touchdown passes. They rushed for 2 touchdowns. That's balance. I mean, and they've got 28 points on the board. and Harrison's got none. I mean, they outrush Harrison by well over 100 yards. When you do that, usually you're the victor.
Well, I suppose it's easy to have balance when you got a Bruner to catch your 2 touchdown and you got a Slater to run your 2 touchdown. It makes it a little easier too, doesn't it?
And Daniel Rod, 7 for 11, 156 yards and a couple of touchdowns. I mean, that's a high completion percentage as well.
Kick off your Sunday by reliving your college football Saturday with Jeff Hogan and Buckeye Replay. Then hear what Coach Tressel has to say about the game on Buckeye Football Weekly. That's tomorrow morning, Saturday at 9 on Fox Sports Ohio. The Anderson Marching Band. Nice performance by the Harrison Wildcat Band, the little Bruise Brothers for us at halftime. And the honoring of all of the seniors for Anderson here tonight.
And Anderson gets the ball to start the second half with that 4-touchdown lead. So Harrison has to make a defensive stop to try to get back in this game. If Anderson takes this bad boy down the field and throws another touchdown on the board and goes up 35-0, it's like see you later time.
So Anderson will start with Bruner back deep. It will be Dugan kicking off. Josh Dugan to Jason Bruner.
Josh Dugan lining up to kick away for Harrison. Jason Bruner, number 12, now to receive the kickoff.
Tomorrow night, high school football in earnest. Then Saturday again, we're back with you with St. X and Moeller with playoff implications as well. Bruner will take it to 5. And he will be wrapped up as he gets to the 15-yard line. Nice stop by Andrew Tumlin. And the wrestler hog ties him and takes him down.
You know, Brad, I've played against wrestlers, and they're unbelievable, their balance. You know, their knees are over their ankles, their hips are over their knees. You can't move them. Tim Crumry is the greatest example of it. Tim Crumry had unbelievable balance and ballast because of the balance, and very, very hard to get those people off their feet.
So Daniel Rod will take over for the Redskins, 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line. Slater. It just doesn't go down. The pile just continues to move. You think it's stopped, and then the pile advances. This one for 8 yards. Brian Edwards, the first to hit, and got dragged.
Yeah, that's the thing about him. He's hard-nosed. I mean, he just slashes it in there. He fights for every single yard. He finishes every single run. He relishes every opportunity with the peg under his arm.
2nd down and 2 from the 24. Slater again, right side. He's doing damage down this sideline. He went for 56 once. Stiff arm.
Wow.
You got to be kidding me. Slater with his 3rd touchdown, this one for 76.
And he stiff-armed too. He stiff-armed Colton Gibson to get it started. The reason he got to the perimeter was the left arm stiff arm he threw on Gibson. Gibson had him in space, but Slater said, no way. This kid is unbelievably gifted, approaching 200 yards rushing already. 195 yards on 14 carries.
How about that? How about that?
He had the double stiff arm. He had that left stiff arm going like a piston rod.
Now, it had the moment when I saw him coming right, and you immediately feel, okay, he likes his side, but there was no way I thought the way the field was set up he was going to take it 76.
He outran the angles, Brad. I mean, everybody took an angle they thought that would intersect them, and he distorted all the football geometry. On top of the fact being very, very physical with that left arm stiff arm of his.
Take a look one more time. This is his first one on the right side.
Watch the left arm. Watch the stiff arm. Well, this is his first touchdown of
the one
game.
For 56.
Yeah, 56-yarder with the unbalanced line. And watch this left stiff arm right here. Gets the ball in the right hand. Boom, right there. Takes Colton Gibson to the turf, bounces it to the outside. Here comes the second stiff arm coming up right here. Oh, get it in the grill. Nice stiff arm right there. I mean, and he gets after Jordan Bond on that one. Not James Bond, Jordan Bond.
And
he
nothing
just stiff-armed
runs like a Slater. Nothing runs like a deer. Long run of the day, 76 yards for Mr. Slater. Doss with a little hole. Fistful of jersey is the only thing that gets him down at 45-yard line. Nice run by Randy Doss as Bissinger and Mitch Porta
flag on the play.
Gather him down with a flag on the field.
Let's see, even though it's a chilly night, those are the times you wish you had a tearaway jersey. Holding's going to nullify it, though. Take a look one more time at the double stiff arm. There's the first one. Take it right to the face. He takes Colton Gibson down to the turf. Then later on, as he gets down to the sideline, here comes Jordan Bond. Boom! Gets you in the grill, separate you, take it into the end zone. Just an amazing run and a finish of a run. Just got tremendous talent and just speed that is deceptive. I mean, Harrison, just the angles that they take, they think they're going to get there. Tyler Elrod and Brian Edwards, they come up short on the intersection.
1st and 10 from the 25-yard line, straight up the middle. Brandon Fisher takes it for a few. Now, I threw out Mitch Porter's name on that tackle. Big Daddy Mark upstairs running the camera. Proud Papa.
Cameraman extraordinaire.
2 plays, 84 yards, 76 from Slater.
And he likes playing against Harrison. Like we said, we had him last year, Glenn Esty against Harrison.
That's right.
He rolled up, I think, a couple of hundred that night or close to it.
2nd and 2 from the 33. Fisher again has to spin out of the first tackle. Won't get to the first down marker. No gain. Bissinger in on the stop.
You know, one of the first keys for Harrison defensively, take away Slater between the tackles. Hasn't gone so well.
Well, they were effective in the first half when they threw the ball. Got down into the red zone a couple of times and could not cash in.
You know, you had to wonder last week's game to lose by a point in overtime. When you take a point off the board, would it have an effect? Hard to tell.
Fisher again. I don't think he'll get there. Driven back. Whistle blows. I mean, Bigelow was the first one to get the stop.
It's easy to say now when you're down 35-0 that there was a hangover from last week's game. But I think a lot of this game has to do with the outstanding play of Anderson. I don't think you can take anything away from the execution and the big play ability of Anderson. And we talked about Adam Bigelow earlier. It's good to get him back healthy if you're an Anderson fan before the playoffs, because this guy is a big-time linebacker, very powerful guy, can really run.
They're going to go again on 4th down and 1 at their own 35. 0 for 2 so far tonight. They'll pitch this time and got it. Brandon Fisher on 3 consecutive carries. Will take it across the 35 and out to about the 38-yard line. Bissinger again on the stop.
Brandon Fisher, watch him come downhill right now. Square those shoulder pads up to the line of scrimmage. Lower your shoulder and take a hit, but turn it up inside. But that was a nice delivery by Bissinger, boy. He laid the wood right there.
Been in on a bunch of tackles tonight. 1st and 10 for Harrison. From their own 38. Doss on the boot. Will throw. Dugan goes up for it and tried to tip it to himself. Couldn't come down with it at the 32. Titchener was there.
Now we saw that stat that Anderson has only got 1 more first down than Harrison. Sometimes time of possession and first downs can be very, very meaningless because of big plays. Harrison not able to execute a big play right there. A nice effort. You cannot fault the effort. Tried to bobble it, juggled it and bobbled it, tried to secure it, tip it to himself. Couldn't quite get it done. But Anderson, rushes of over 50, over 70, touchdown passes, the same, big plays have been the difference in this football game so far.
2nd down and 10 from the 38. Doss rolling and running with it. And gets out of that first group of tacklers, then the second. How about Doss?
Wow.
Doss trying to keep his feet.
See him.
Randy Doss for the touchdown, 62 yards. We've seen some runs tonight.
And I'll tell you, Harrison answers with a big play of their own. And a little bit of emotion right there by Neil Kastner. And there's a flag. Are they talking about a flag?
Oh, goodness.
That's why the emotion. This play is going to be nullified. There's a flag on the field that is going to bring this one back. And Coach Neil Kastner says, how can you take away the second and third effort that my quarterback had?
Block in the back.
Coach Kastner still very, very upset, obviously, to have that touchdown taken off the board. Illegal block in the back was the call.
Well, let's see it again, see if we can pick up where it was.
You know, usually that's a wide receiver out on the edge. Let's see if we can find the illegal block in the back. I think they called number 50 on that block in the back right there, down the field a little ways. I'm not sure if they called Sandman or not.
I think it's McDonald here, right there.
That's close.
Ooh,
that's
goodness.
close. That's close. He pulled the trigger.
I let that one go.
On linebacker Tony Martini.
Dawson trouble, lets the ball loose, incomplete as he goes down.
You know, sometimes you don't know during the actual action, but sometimes those blocks aren't necessary. That was one that wasn't necessary, and unfortunately pulled the trigger on it and it came back.
Lackner and Waller with the pressure on that one. Bring up 2nd and 10.
But I'm with you. If that's not at the point of attack and has an influence on the outcome of the play, I think I let it go. And Coach Kastner, I think
he would agree.
Feels the same way.
2nd and 10. There's not much there on the ground. Left side, maybe a couple for Fisher. Give him one to the 48-yard line.
Boy, Bissinger has been very, very active.
Let's take a look at Doss's run one more time.
Let's see if we can see the problem down the field as he breaks into the next level and starts to take off. Where's number 51? Where will he appear? Breaking tackles left and right. Just an outstanding effort. I never really picked up his illegal block on that particular angle.
3rd and 9 from the 48. Doss got his big man Foley, and he's got the first down inside the 40-yard line down to the 36. Doss got some happy feet, stayed in the pocket, hit it for 11. Anglem on the stop. And 11's about as good as they can get. They've gone for 16, went for 21. But Dave Anderson has 7 plays tonight of 25 plus, and Harrison has none.
Well, they had 11 rushes of 25 plus and 9 passes of 20 yards plus. So, I mean, they had 20 plays of 20 yards or more coming in.
From the 37, Doss. And we'll take it for about 7 down to the 30-yard line. Bigelow on the stop.
And the thing is, the pass plays were by 7 different players.
How about that?
And the rushes were by 11 different players. So everybody's contributing to the effort. And, you know, it was good to see the big guy, Justin Foley, involved. He took that hit in the first half, and it was a big shot that he took from Jason Bruner. But he's out there showing that he's no worse for wear here in the second half.
2nd down and 3 from the 30. Doss again under pressure. Throwing for Dugan, who's got it inside the 5 and tripped up back outside the 5 at the 6-yard line by Titcher. 24-yard pickup.
And this is one thing that they wanted to do with Dugan again, get him in one-on-ones if they could. Extension of the play is executed well. And Josh Dugan makes the catch after Randy Doss creates and extends the play. And then the tackle is finalized by Tincher.
No give up in Doss on this drive. 1st and goal from the 6. He'll throw for Foley. to the end zone, touchdown, and Harrison's on the board. So a 62-yard run by Doss is called back. He settles for a 6-yard touchdown pass.
And I tip my cap to all the members of the Harrison offensive football team. It would have been easy to quit after that big play is nullified when you're down 35-0. And they didn't. They kept their nose to the grindstone, kept sawing wood, and they were rewarded with a touchdown to big Justin Foley. That's his 6th touchdown reception of the season, averaging over 18 yards per reception coming in.
And Doss does it all. He adds the extra point. Throws the 6-yard touchdown pass. Foley gets it in. He adds the extra point. 5:28 left in the third. It's 35-7. We're back after this. Wednesday, 6:30, Fox Sports Ohio is your all-access pass to UC football on Bearcat Sports Weekly with Coach Brian Kelly. Breaking down the game, getting you ready for the next opponent on the Bearcat Sports Weekly with Coach Brian Kelly. Wednesday, 6:30 on Fox Sports Ohio.
Big game for UC this weekend up at University of Connecticut. Randy Edsall, former Syracuse Orangeman, head coach up there. I'm thinking that UConn is, I think, ranked in a couple of top 25s. If UC can knock them off, they will now enter the top 25 in a few polls.
They had a tough loss last week as they lost 12-10 to Rutgers. Rutgers finally getting one of their rare wins on the season. A struggling year for the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, how that program has had the roller coaster ride, hasn't it?
UC kind of sent them tumbling down, didn't they?
Yeah, that was the peak for them.
Dugan on the ground, and it is fielded. Nice ground ball at shortstop to the 32-yard line. Take one more look at the touchdown. Foley from 6 yards out.
I'll tell you, he's a very accomplished receiver. Big guy, gets his head turned, his shoulder pads and hips turned, and makes a catch and gets inside the pylon. I can see him definitely playing at Colgate or another school in the Patriot League or the Ivy League. He's he's carrying a 3.8 grade point average or better.
Nice 7-play drive, 80 yards. As we said, 62 of it called back on the touchdown. Max Barton recovered that one on the kickoff. And Louis Perez takes it out the right side across the 35-yard line. They'll mark it at about the 39-yard line as Colton Gibson takes him down.
So Perez trying to get that chin strap buckled up again. I'll tell you, he packs a punch. I mean, he's only 5'10", 180 pounds, but he delivers a hit now. He snaps those hips pretty darn effectively.
2nd and 3 from the 39. Bornhauser in motion. One more time, Mr. Perez will take it for a first down. Out across the 45 to the 46, and again Gibson is on him. 7 more. Redskins with a new set of downs, leading 35-7, and quickly to the line of scrimmage. Rod pitched to Nakakura. And a well-designed play with a big hole on the left side. Another first down inside Wildcat territory down to about the 40-yard line. Pickup of 17.
Some tremendous ball handling on that play, but also some great blocking up front. And the bell cow, the linchpin up front, number 78, the big boy right there doing his thing. Finishing blocks, staying after it. Norwell, 6'7", 275 pounds. You see him with making a second block. His brother played at Illinois, and he's going to be a big-timer Division I. We'll talk about some of his possibilities after this.
Boy, you got a long list coming. Louis Perez on this one. Yeah, should we give you 10 minutes to read who's interested?
Well, suffice it to say that everybody from Indiana, Duke, and UC have already offered. Ohio State offered Matt James at Elder. And Coach Trussell was wondering if that would bother Norwell, because he may offer Norwell as well.
Right.
But Boise State, Tennessee, Georgia, Kentucky, Michigan State, Illinois, Wisconsin, everybody in between. There's a lot of interest in Mr. Norwell.
2nd and 8 from the 38. Bornhauser waiting on a block. making a move inside the 30. And it's another first down. Brian Edwards on the stop. Take one more look at the big Mr. Norwell.
And you know, the guy that was blocking for him down the field was Jason Bruner again. But let's take a look at the big boy at the top of the screen right here. Norwell. Just, you know, snap that head up a little bit. Finish. Look at the hands. Nice hands. Finish the block. Lock them out. Pretty good. That's not bad. Staying after it. You know, it wasn't just initial contact and stop. He kept the feet going and kept his hands working. That's good line play.
You think Justin Herbert knew he was there? He took a faceful. On the pitch right side, Bornhauser takes it out of bounds. A short gain. Run out by Colton Gibson.
You know, a thing that you look for on a big fellow like Andrew Norwell, 6'7", 275. Does he have long arms? Can he move his feet? Because with that frame, he definitely has the long arms. He can get bigger than the 275, and his footwork looks pretty good. They have him playing the left tackle position, which tells me that he's pretty athletic because, you know, normally the tight end is to the other side of the football field unless you go with two tight ends like there on this snap.
Giving Slater a rest on this series. 2nd and 4 from the 22. Rod to throw. Looking end zone. Runk!
Wow.
He's got it!
No, interception.
Picked off! Down at the goal line. Picked off by Tyler Elrod, who went up with it and took it away from Runk.
Yeah, a little contested catch, and Runk just could not quite get to the peak of the jump. Tyler Elrod finished it for Harrison. Touchback. Harrison will get the football at the 20-yard line. And, you know, he threw into double coverage again. Daniel Rod, there were two defensive backs in the area, and they both jumped for the football.
Took it right away.
He did. I mean, simultaneous possession goes to the offense, but he took it away from him. My question is, had he already crossed the plane of the goal line with simultaneous possession?
Let's review that when we come back. Welcome back to Anderson Township in the Thursday night high school football. Presented by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Well, Dave and I reviewed it. There's Tyler Elrod, who made the pick. Upon our further review, he got away with a serious heist in the end zone.
He did. That was a good pilfer job there.
First and 10 from the 20. Doss to throw. Throwing long. Got a man out there, and he's got it complete. Myers inside the 30-yard line down to the 27.
Outran Kevin Kripe on that play, got inside of him, and the deep ball was right on the money.
First one over 25 yards, Dave. That's a 54-yarder.
That's a heck of a throw by Doss. Look at how far the ball is in the air. And that's just an outstanding route, and caught Anderson in man coverage and beat him.
First and 10 from the 27. Foley steals that one away. Great reception inside the 15-yard line.
Tipped it to himself, did the big fella. He said, you know, I'm not sure I can get it on the first touch, but I know I can get it on the second if I can keep it alive.
First and 10 from the 27.
Watch Foley tip it to himself and secure it.
Doss making things happen. Inside the 5-yard line. Down to about the 2 on a 12-yard pickup.
Well, I'll tell you, Harrison has responded here offensively. And they're making some big plays, and the defensive interception for the touchback. I mean, it just seemed like seconds ago they're at the 20-yard line on the touchback, and here they are knocking on the doorstep of the goal line.
First and goal from the 2. Doss the give to Fisher to the goal line. Yes. Touchdown, Wildcats. Brandon Fisher takes it in. And that play in the end zone now becomes very big by Tyler Elrod.
Yeah, it was evened up the turnover story. Each team has an interception, so the turnovers are even, Steven. But I just like the fight in Harrison. I mean, they're down 35-0. And say the game's not over. We got time here. There's still 2 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the third quarter, and they're down 3 scores.
Doss to add the extra point. Kick is up and through. And a very quick drive after the pick in the end zone. A 54-yard connection to Dylan Myers, and then the last 2 yards behind the block of Jeremy Buechele. Brandon Fisher takes it in.
Yeah, pretty good surge up front by everybody on the right side of the Harrison offensive line. Everybody down blocks and get a nice little lead and take it to the house. Buechele with that good lead block as a fullback, but the tight end, right tackle, right guard, everybody did a good job of blocking down inside and securing the edge.
4 plays, 80 yards, 101 off the clock. Suddenly they're only down by 21, 35-14.
Now I'm wondering if this is a time to try some kind of a mortar kick or an onside kick, and coaches are talking things over a little bit. I don't think so. There's still over 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. If it backfires, you're giving Anderson a short field, and all your work will be for naught.
Doss now 13 of 20, 213 yards and a touchdown.
Although Anderson's crowding it, and there it is. Anderson's crowding the line of scrimmage, and they recover it.
They come down. Hands team has been good. I think Max Elliott is there.
They had 9 men within 10 yards of the football in that particular play.
Doss has also run 10 times for 72 yards. One more look at a touchdown for Fisher.
Well, let's take a look at the fullback right here. Watch the kickout block that he gets on the perimeter. Boom! Let you head inside. Pretty good job. Sustains enough contact where he says, "I'm going to do it for you, Fisher. Make it pay for me."
So 1st and 10 from the 47. Perez breaking it. They've got to catch him.
Stiff arm.
Will take it to the 10-yard line. 1st and goal. A 43-yard pickup by Luis Perez. Jordan Bond finally runs him out.
Now that's what I was talking about on the onside kick. If you don't execute, they get a short field. They can undo all your hard work quickly. Whoever the running back coach is for Anderson does a good job of teaching the stiff arm. Did you see Perez switch arms, get the ball to the outside so he can, boom, use that right hand for a stiff arm? They do a good job of putting the ball in the outside arm.
1st and goal, Bornhauser. Ball's on the ground. It looks like Harrison may have it.
How about that?
They do.
How about that?
Bornhauser coughed it up, and Chris Stamper came up with it.
Man, somebody put their helmet or shoulder pad right on the football. Ball security is a key here. Let's see what happens. Who puts the helmet on the foot? There it is, helmet coming right across inside, and that's textbook. Puts the helmet right on the football that Bornhauser has in the outside arm. That's I think Brian Edwards is the one that made the hit.
1st and 10 from the 10. 1:35 to go in the third. Can Harrison answer one more time? Hayes dropped right at the 10. Lackner on the stop.
Well, back-to-back possessions, Anderson turns the football over. An end zone interception for a touchback, and then inside the 10-yard line fumble the football. Will Harrison be able to capitalize? They went 80 yards on the prior takeaway.
In 1:01.
What will they do on this takeaway?
Plenty of big plays tonight. Harrison could use another one here on 2nd and 9 from the 11-yard line. Doss looking for it. Going long. Dugan's out there. Double coverage. Goes up for the jump ball, and it's batted away.
And remember, once the ball is touched, you can pull him away. You can separate him from the football just like Pasillo did. Pasillo grabbed him and pulled him away from the football for any deflection. And that is legal because once the ball is touched by either a defender or a wide receiver, you can do exactly what Pasillo did.
Take a look at it one more time. Right down the middle of the field in double coverage.
Tell you what, he can launch it, and he put it up there. You can almost fair catch this thing. Once the ball is tipped, you can take him to the turf just like that.
Tincher may have gotten the first hand on it. 3rd and 9 from the 11. Doss to throw again. Throws middle of the field. Won't be enough for a first down across the 15-yard line. So it will be fourth. Will they be willing to go for it here with 35 seconds and counting left in the third?
I don't see how you can. I mean, if you're unsuccessful, you know, you're giving Anderson the shortest of fields that you can possibly think of.
But they're staying on the field.
Well, they must. They've got their best short yardage play in mind here right now. I guess. How many possessions are you going to have left?
Kasner's rolling the dice. 4th and 4 from the 15-yard line. Doss throws quickly, and it is dropped by Hayes. He threw a bullet to David Hayes a little bit behind him, and Anderson takes over deep in Wildcat territory.
And I don't know how many times you can count on Anderson turning the football over. They've done it on 2 straight possessions, and Coach Neil Kasner said, you know what, I feel like I've got some momentum. I'm going to let the momentum ride. He put all the chips on the table, and the dealer just took them off.
So Anderson huddles on the side, a dejected Neil Kasner, feeling like he was doing what he had to do. 4 seconds remain in the third and down by 21. From the 15. Perez will drag the pile inside the 10-yard line. Brian Edwards the first to hit, and that will take us to the end of the third quarter.
I don't think we've seen Kyle Slater since his big run.
No, we have not.
And I think Coach went up to him and said, "That's it, good job." I think he basically said, "We're not gonna take any more chances. You've got us this big lead. Why play you now?" And at that point, he was saying to Slater, "Curtain call time."
Anderson up 35-14.
Empty nesters are downsizing these days. To some, that means a smaller house. To others, it's moving to a less populated area.
It has a CD player, an adjustable suspension. You just dial in your weight.
I'm not dialing in anything.
At Grange, we sell our policies through local independent agents. So as your needs change, Grange is there to back you.
See Kramer Myers and Waring Dickerson Insurance at our Batavia and Blanchester offices.
Your partner in protection.
Back to start the fourth quarter. Look at our Toyota players of the game, the possible candidates. Randy Doss has done it all for Harrison, and Kyle Slater has done only part of it. 195 yards for Anderson, 330 yards on the ground, 498 yards of offense through 3.
That's getting it done. That's moving the football pretty darn effectively. It's amazing to me they only have 35 points on the board with those kind of numbers.
Second down and 4 with the ball at the 9. Perez. He's going to go.
See it.
Touchdown, Louis Perez. A 9-yard TD run.
That's going to hurt his average. He was averaging 12 yards a carry before that touchdown run, but it's unfortunate it was just 9 yards to score because he'd still be running.
What is he at? 7 for about 84 yards, 7 carries, 82 yards for Louis Perez. Whoever gets the ball gets something done for the Redskins tonight.
Louis Perez is a good football player. I mean, he does everything for Anderson with and without the football in his hands.
John Howard to add the extra point. Rod to hold. Up and through. So the gamble does not pay off for Neil Kasner. He goes for it on 4th and 4 from the 15-yard line. Anderson turns it around into a 9-yard touchdown.
Well, just a nice job of making people miss, and a pretty reliable football player. Andrew Tumlin is the first one to miss, and then Perez just bounces it to the outside. Great vision. He does a good job of making people miss with the arm tackles. You have to put your helmet across the bow, get your head in front. Arm tackles aren't going to take Perez or anybody down from Anderson the way they run the football.
Take a little drink. Max Elliott got a nice block on that touchdown run, and it is now 42-14. And I would say at this point this is a tough comeback for the Wildcats. They rolled the dice, and it did not come up their way. Howard will let it go. Fisher, Doss, And Dugan back deep. Doss will take it across the 10. Got a hold. Coming right sideline, Doss.
Wow.
They won't catch it. Doss into the end zone. Randy Doss all day long.
Unbelievable effort. I don't know. He made one little fake to the inside like he was going to cut it back up inside and then just took it to the perimeter. An outstanding effort by Randy Doss, who's got tremendous athletic ability. There's no question about it. And he's got a capital C on his chest for competitor, because there's no quitting that young man whatsoever.
How about 89 yards from Randy Doss? As I spit out, I'm not sure the Wildcats can come back here. And then he adds the extra point. Now he will head to the sideline and sell popcorn.
Watch the effort he makes down the sideline. He makes the subtle move back inside. There's a missed tackle right here. Set him up with a little inside move. Take it to the sideline. See ya.
There's the Wildcat star, who now has 213 yards through the air, 72 on the ground, and 89 in return yardage. That's 374 if you want to add them up.
And watch the wedge form for him. Watch everybody form right here. And he either says go, and then missed tackle by Martini, and then he's off to the races. And right here, he's going to fake a little bit inside. Oh, take it to the outside and bounce it to the outside. He distorted football geometry as well. He outran angles. Everybody's taking bad angles of pursuit. You have to take an angle where you can get your head in front of the ball carrier. If your head's behind and you try to arm tackle him, you're dead meat.
He's had a special night, especially playing from behind. We've talked about the no give up in these Wildcats, and Randy Doss is the head of that monster.
Well, Coach Giesting just took Slater out of the holster. He said, you know what, I told you were done. You're not anymore. You're back in this football game. I don't like the way this thing's going. So let's start to try to pound them a little bit again between the tackles and reestablish ourselves. And Slater is going to be returning to the fray.
Looked like an onside kick, so Anderson took a timeout to adjust for it coming. Daniel Rod is back deep. Dugan to kick off.
Josh Dugan set to give it away.
And he will bounce it on the ground, and it won't get to that 10 yards. And sneaking up is Anderson to grab it on the Wildcat side. Ken Nakakura falls on it, and Anderson has good field position again.
You know, I think that Randy Doss, with the athletic ability he's showing here tonight, you have to think that somebody in the Mid-American Conference would sit up and take notice of this young man. I mean, he's definitely a candidate for the MAC, 1AA, and he's got some skill set to him, and he's got the intangible, which is, I'm never going to quit. I don't think this football game is ever over. I'm going to stay after you.
1st and 10 from the 48. Pitch this side. Down to about the 41-yard line.
It was Bruner, wasn't it?
It is Bruner taking it in front of Tyler Elrod.
Everybody's so versatile offensively for Anderson. I mean, you got fullbacks that can line up elsewhere and can return punts in Perez. You have Bruner, who can do a lot of things for you offensively in the slot and other wide receiver positions. He can play split, flanker, or slot. He plays safety for you. Very, very versatile athletically is Anderson.
2nd and 3. Give it to Luis Perez. And Louis got the first down and a bunch more. Flag on the field.
Yep. Usually that's
Luis Perez, the Redskin ball carrier.
Some kind of an illegal block. I didn't see a face mask. Did anybody grab a face mask there?
I didn't see. Justin Sturgill in on the tackle.
And it is holding.
Holding is the penalty call against Anderson.
Anderson leads this series 17-14 and 1 tie. over the period, and in most of these games.
On the offense, 10 yards, spot of the foul, still second down.
But Anderson has won 10 straight. They've won 10 in a row, and this could be number 11.
In the last 6, they haven't scored any fewer than 33, which is the case again tonight as they put up 42 so far.
Harrison, coming into this football game, had a winning record at Anderson. They were 7-6-1. But again, hasn't been that successful for them here recently.
Rod on 2nd and 6. Louis Perez.
Wow.
See you, Louis. How about it?
Sweet Louis.
44 yards for the touchdown. How many big plays we got tonight?
Well, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. And Louis Perez just straight lined it. I mean, are we going to have 400 yards rushing in this football game?
8 carries, 126 yards for Louis Perez.
And they got to be closing in on 400. I mean, it's an incredible the amount of yards. And Louis 391 yards counting. And Louis Perez would have scored in touch football as well. I don't think anybody laid a fingernail on him. Right up the gut.
Tommy Chapman adds the extra point. Take a look at Sweet Louis one more time. 44 yards for the score.
Just good blocking up front, sustaining blocks, and you can't arm tackle. Louis says, see ya. Hey, watch out.
We are back. Holding up Tommy Chapman, who's now in to kick. As Louis Perez hydrates on the bench. Sweet Louis. Got a nice block from Mr. Sherman on that one to lead the way. Nick Sherman, 44-yard run, 126 yards on 8 carries. That's a terrible average, Louis. Short kick. And Harrison lucky to fall on it across the 25-yard line as it squibs around.
Let's take a look at that block by Nick Sherman, the number 77, the center. Watch him just take the snap and drive the nose guard 7 yards down the football field, and that gets Louis Perez going. And it's a straight line run. Nick Sherman blew up the line of scrimmage. All-State last year. He injured his ACL in a Wednesday practice before the Winton Woods game. And there he is right there working in the middle and just driving people off the line of scrimmage. And he's lucky that they can put a brace on it. He can still play even with a bad ACL.
He played pretty well. 1st and 10 from the 26. And maybe out to the 28-yard line.
I'm very impressed with how Anderson's offensive line finishes blocks. They use their hands well and they finish. They sustain contact and they keep their feet moving and they absolutely drive you off the line of scrimmage. I mean, the coaching staff of Jeff Geesting is outstanding. A couple of guys came over from the Coleraine program, and all of them are teachers in the building, and they can react quickly to anything that takes place.
Empty the backfield on 2nd and 8 from the 28, and a quick hit to Dugan. Makes a couple miss. Take it out across the 40-yard line before he is dropped. Josh Dugan takes Max Barden out of bounds after 16 yards on the game.
Again, just you have a competitor that's not going to quit, and it gets contagious. Everybody else says, well, am I doing enough? If Randy Doss is doing what he's doing, Josh Dugan's saying, hey, I want some of that. I can compete too.
From the 43. Myers in motion. Dugan will take it himself. Coming all the way near sideline. He's hard to bring down.
I'll tell you, the D-boys, Brad, Dugan and Doss. That's a pretty good combination, the D brothers.
12 more yards as Mike Sears runs him out.
You know, another award, a big award that Jeff Geesting got, the head coach for Anderson, is the Paul Brown Coaching Award. And he was talking how that humbled him, you know, to be presented with such a prestigious award, Paul Brown being the legend that he is.
Doss on first down. Across the middle, incomplete. He's carried 11 times for 84 yards now. Barden out in coverage.
The thing that amazes me about a lot of these young players is the condition that they're in. I mean, it's a great night for football. There's no doubt about that. And but we saw Luis Perez. He's breaking a serious sweat. I mean, when you exert yourself like these guys are out here, you better stay with your fluids, or you could end up cramping, even though it is a chilly night.
He told Slater he could sit back down, didn't he? He did. I'll take it for you.
He did.
2nd down and 10 from the 44. Hayes trying to string it out. He doesn't quite have the speed and is run out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. Bissinger and Kripe there. Tradition. Start a new one this season. Cincinnati.com. This is the last time we can do it this season, Dave.
Man, that's a heartbreaker.
I know this is the best place online. All the viewers are so sad. View all the action for your high school and your team now. Get live game scores direct to your mobile phone as soon as they happen. High school football text alerts. Cincinnati.com. You search high school sports to sign up today. Doss going deep. Dugan's out there. Goes up and it is picked. Taken down by Michael Tincher. And he went up with a high jumper and came down with it.
Yeah, Tincher timed his jump perfectly. Got the football at the apex of his jump. And then when he came down, dotted the I, got a foot in bounds. Nice play. Second time, Doss has thrown an interception tonight. He just kind of lets this one go one-on-one and jumping just a little bit too early, and therefore not able to make as big a play on the contested catch was Josh Dugan. Tincher makes the play.
Ty Nab was putting the pressure on Doss to let that one go, and now Anderson has it back 1st and 10 from their own 13-yard line. Rod throws right side.
Ooh.
Bornhauser takes it out to the 30-yard line. Tommy Mullins takes him down, but not before another first down. 17 yards on the pickup.
Tommy Mullins, they were wondering if he was going to be able to participate. He's fighting through a concussion. He's this senior night game is important to him, and he was medically cleared to go, so he's going.
Missed 4 weeks. Back like nothing happened. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Right on the pitch. Ball's loose. Did Tumlin come up with it? Harrison football. The wrestler grabs it.
Good job of corralling that football, because when it's on the turf, it can take some strange bounces. And that little prestidigitation, pitch the ball, get it out there in the corner to run on the edge. And the ball is, he's stripped from behind by Brian Edwards, and it's rolling pretty cleanly. And as a result of that clean roll, Andrew Tumlin picks it up.
So 1st and 10 for Doss and company from the 25-yard line. Looking end zone, jump ball, couldn't come down with it. Dugan out there again, got both hands on it, and Tincher was out there with him.
Anderson being pressured in the secondary continually by the howitzers that are being thrown. It's an incoming scud by Randy Doss. He keeps throwing them up there, and he's hoping that Dugan will answer. And Dugan has a tremendous leaping ability. We talked about him being a conference champion in the high jump, and you can see that he definitely has some ups to him.
15 of 27 is Doss, 235, a touchdown and a couple of picks.
2nd and 10.
On 2nd down, short drop, quick hit to Myers, incomplete through the hands. It'll be 3rd down from there. And you can tell the Wildcats are getting a little tired. 8 minutes remaining in this and down 4 scores.
We've had 70 points put on the board, and there's 8 minutes to play. This did turn into the track meet. that Harrison did not want to have. They did not want to get in a scoring fest with Anderson, and now we know why.
Empty the backfield again on third down. Doss to throw across the middle. Foley's got it. He's got the first down. He's got more than that. He's got a touchdown.
Wow.
Foley's second of the night at 25-yarder.
I'll tell you, Foley ran over a smaller defensive player like a big old freight train. I mean, Foley,
I think.
Yeah, Foley just squashed him. And Foley is Foley, as we said, is 6'2", 230 pounds. Pasillo's nowhere near that size, and he took the brunt of it right there. Just got squashed. Foley takes it to the house.
Extra point up and through. 49-28. 7:51 remaining. Dave, don't go away.
Man, you never know.
Big boy's tough to bring down.
And come up, you know, set yourself, try to get your feet under you, but Matt Pasillo, not enough lead in the butt at 5'9", 150 to take on 6'2", 230. Physics say the bigger body wins. He was willing, and he tried, but the big fella said, I'm going to take it to the house. And then, you know, what you do at the end of that run, Bissinger.
He wanted to take it down.
Give him a token. Give him a token for that ride. It took about a 5-yard ride. It was like, you know, at the theme park, you got to pay for that ride. You can't get a freebie. That's a nice effort by the big boy, Justin Foley. Smelled the end zone, was hungry for it, and he ate ravenously.
Well, will they go for another onside kick here? You know, they're down 21. They went for it on 4th and 4 at their own 15, which led to a score.
And they've tried 2 onside kicks unsuccessfully.
Last onside kick turned into another touchdown. If the defense could hold Anderson, you're going to have to re-tee that big fella. Dugan to kick off. As he walked away, the ball fell off the tee.
It's getting a little breezy out here.
Fall is set in.
Josh Dugan will be kicking off for Harrison.
Dugan lets it go long this time. Daniel Rod is back. It's into the end zone. We'll come back out to the 20. Let's go down to the field. Dave Lapham Jr.
Hey, thanks, Brad. One thing that is still up for grabs tonight is the Fort Ancient Valley Conference Buckeye Division Championship. If Anderson holds on to win, and if Glen Estee beats Winton Woods tomorrow night, there would be a 3-way tie for the conference championship. And to say how competitive this conference has been over the years, a couple years ago there was a 5-way tie out of a 6-team conference for the division title. I was talking to Commissioner Steve Borich earlier, and he said they definitely broke the budget on trophies and plaques that year, handing out 5 of them for conference championships.
Man, Dave, as many as 6 teams from the FABC can get in the state playoffs, right?
Yeah, in Division II they have 5 right now that are in, so things are looking good. Definitely a competitive conference.
Louis Perez again.
Oh my gosh.
He's gone 80 yards, Louis Perez.
Louis. Oh yeah, that's a way to run. Unbelievable.
He's got 9 carries, 206 yards. Slater may come back in because he's feeling jealous.
I'm telling you. And they are just absolutely slicing and dicing up Harrison's 3-4 defense. And Louis Perez bounces to the outside, arm tackle, no go. Now it's off to the races. Got a nice little block on the perimeter, cuts it back to the inside. Just an outstanding effort by Louis Perez. But it starts with the boys up front, and they gave him ample opportunity and space to work with.
They're not giving Randy Doss a lot of time to catch his breath.
Man.
Because Randy's going to have to come right back out. Anderson looking to add their 56th point of the game.
Well, they're doubling them up. Harrison is half of that. 28 on the board. You score 28, you're down that number again.
Tommy Chapman, the extra point. We've got a lifetime left in this game. 7:36 to go. And it's 56-28. Let's take one more look at Louis. Stiff arm of Elrod. Watch this one.
Watch him bounce it to the outside. And he just, that's just a, not, you're leaving your feet. You have to run through the tackle. You can't let your feet stop like Elrod did. When your feet stop, you're done. Because Perez's feet aren't stopping. Elrod has to run through him. But they do a great job of getting the ball in the outside hand at all times, so they have their body between the defender and the football, and they can use the free hand to ward off would-be tacklers with the old stiff arm.
Tommy Chapman to kick off.
Louis going to do that whole water jug himself, man. He's just, he keeps hydrating. They're going to have to have a Perez pail.
Look at the drive. You can't call that a drive.
Amazing.
Randy Doss back deep. Chapman measuring it. Put it on the ground. He doesn't want Doss to get this one.
Took a knee.
Picked it up, and I think he took a knee.
Took a knee when he caught the ball, yeah.
So Harrison will take it from there.
Hey, bro, Coach Pat on me.
With 7:30 left on the clock.
I'm sorry, bro. And I give you shut up.
All smiles for Luis Perez.
So first down and 10 for 29.
Doss to throw on first down. Got Dugan at the 35. Out to the 40-yard line. It's a first down. Tincher on the tackle. Now, when we ask the coach, we are assuming it's Luis Perez, spelled L-U-I-S. And I said, Coach, is it Luis Perez? And he hesitated for a moment and said, I don't know. We call him Louis.
Yeah. And Louis.
Everybody it's Louis. So we're going Louis.
Look at this. The linebackers all back across the football field like playing in the secondary. A 3-4 defense.
Doss. Goodness gracious.
Oh.
And it's complete.
Wow.
Off the tip, inside Anderson territory.
Fisher, right?
He got Fisher down there off the tip from Anderson, and Doss made that happen on his own by making guys miss in the backfield.
And Anderson is now running. They're running that 3-4, and they've got the linebackers deep because they know they're going to throw the football, and they're trying to take the underneath crossing routes and just create and try to make a play.
Deep again. Picked off. In the end zone, touchback. Tincher, who's been at most ends of the big throw, comes up with this one. And Doss can't make the magic happen on this drive.
I'll tell you, if you blink, you're going to miss a lot of action. This has been fast and furious. Again, showing pretty good arm strength. The pressure's decent. Makes him throw it a little bit sooner than he wanted to. And Tincher ended up being the primary receiver. He just made a great play on the football. And Harrison could not respond quickly enough. Josh Dugan could not even turn around and reverse roles and make it a contested situation for Tincher.
They got a chance here because they mark it at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, Perez can go 99 now.
Perez and Slater together. 401 yards on the ground tonight.
Amazing. And if they go 99-yard run here, it'd be even 500.
Bornhauser takes this one.
Making people miss left and right.
Across the 15-yard line goes Bornhauser, taken down by Sturgis. Who are we going to pick for our player of the game? Slater goes early, and he sits.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have done some serious damage. Went 195 yards on 14 carries.
Well, as an old-school lineman, the reason all these guys are getting all these yards, I think we give all 5 to the offensive lineman player of the game.
Tempting.
Because they're all knocking people around. But I don't know, maybe we go with a co. You know, because Perez and Slater, how do you not reward both of them? Both their numbers are ridiculous.
Ooh, they'd be mad if we didn't give it to one of them, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
2nd and 6 from the 17. Here he comes again, Louis.
Look at him.
Louis wants to stay in and play some more.
Louis saying, if you don't secure me and wrap me up, I'm gone. I'm in and out. I'm a ghost. It's apparitions that you're seeing out there. It's not me.
Give him 10 more. Take a look again.
Just an outstanding effort. And look at the offensive line sustaining blocks and just finishing blocks. And then on the edge, you have receivers doing the same thing. Anderson is just doing a good job of locking people out and not letting them out of the grasp. Nakakura did a good job on the edge himself.
They're all looking at their wristbands. They line up. Norwell goes to the right side on 1st and 10 from the 27.
Maybe they're getting sleepy and they're looking for their watches.
Bornhauser keeping it himself. Justin Herbert on the stop, gain of 2.
Justin Herbert.
You know, it's remarkable at any level to rush over 400 yards and start to creep toward 500. I mean, it's just you just have to do nothing but give all kinds of credit to Anderson's game plan and the big boys up front executing it and letting their skill guys shine. You know, as a lineman, you live vicariously through the success of your running backs and quarterback. And right now, the big boys are living good up front.
On 2nd and 7, Louis is hit and driven back by Sturgill. A rare moment when Louis doesn't get out in the open.
Yeah, I think at that point, he just said, enough. Harrison said, that's it. I'm going to take you backwards, Louis. Needs a little more hydration.
3rd down and 5.
Louis going to get bloated. He's drinking so much water.
Bornhauser himself. And he's got the 1st down and more. Across the 40-yard line before Artie Houston takes him down. Ball players, coaches, band members going to be receiving a copy of tonight's game courtesy of your local Grange insurance agent. Additional copies may be purchased at www.gametapes.com. Jeff Geesting going to be heading into the playoffs again to defend his state championship.
And they're getting healthy at the right time. They're starting to gel at the right time. I mean, how big is it on your final regular season game to rush the ball for over 400 yards?
On 1st down, Sturgill again on the stop. New blood in. Anthony Palazzolo.
I was very, very impressed with how Anderson early this afternoon out on the football field doing their walkthrough. They're just very, very businesslike in their approach. And Anthony Palazzolo, a 5'7", 170-pounder, averaging 6.5 yards a carry. 4 touchdowns. He's got a long run himself of 51 yards, so he may get in the fray here with the big play.
Ryan Osenbeck at quarterback. Tripped up early. Osenbeck, 6 foot, 170-pound sophomore. Tyler Peters in on the stop.
Well, Anderson came into this football game meaning business because Harrison had to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. So they weren't taking this game lightly. I mean, Harrison came to play, and Anderson said, we're not going to let you play tonight. We're going to be the ones playing a little bit at a little bit higher level.
Well, what a tough end for Neil Kasner and his group. Starting out at 5-1, end at 5-5 as this one snapped over the head of the quarterback, and Harrison has it again. Another turnover inside the 15-yard line, picked up by Sturgill, who's been in the backfield.
You know, you take for granted the shotgun snap until this happens. I mean, snap after snap after snap it's executed, and then one isn't, and it's, oh man, tragedy time. But you know, this is these are the players that haven't played as many snaps for Anderson in there now, and the execution not quite as crisp, obviously.
So they'll have it 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Doss with a pitch right side. Hayes, not much, down to the 11. Hey, join us for our special Toyota High School football game of the week. Saturday night, the Moeller Crusaders visit the St. X Bombers, defending Division I state champs. Coverage of this Greater Catholic League matchup begins with a High School Football Live presented by Grange Insurance at 6:30 Saturday night.
You got to hope that the winner of that game makes the playoffs, because it's been since 1995 that both of those schools were not in the playoffs in the same time.
And there's a very real possibility, depending on how things happen on Friday, that they may not. So they'll be doing some rooting tomorrow night before they get to their game on Saturday.
The difference is those two programs play everybody. I mean, they can't get anybody in state to schedule them, so they play the better teams from other states, and they play in the Herb Street Challenge and the Skyline Crosstown Showdowns, and they have great matchups, and that's why they're still in the hunt, even though they're about 500 record-wise.
Doss throwing, end zone. Dugan incomplete. That one tipped at the goal line by Caleb Carell.
I'll tell you, I'm sure it'll bring back memories for Dave working the sideline in that football game, being a former captain of Moeller High School himself, and senior year, remember going up and up north to Canton to watch St. Ignatius and Moeller in the state championship game. Those are great memories.
I'm going to miss you, big fella, on Saturday night.
Yeah, I'll be in the Little Apple, Manhattan, Kansas, watching Oklahoma and Kansas State get after it.
And the Hall of Famer Anthony Munoz will be with me in the booth on Saturday night as Doss looks to take it to the goal line right there. Stopped just short. 14 seconds remaining in the game, and Doss wants one more to tack on to his ridiculous total tonight. Carell on the tackle.
You know, one of my bigger thrills broadcasting on radio was doing that St. Ignatius Moeller game, and Dave got offensive player of the game with a dislocated shoulder. Caught,
on the sneak for the touchdown as we reach triple zeros.
Final play. It's fitting that it ends with a score. Dave had, I think, 10 or 11 catches for well over 100 yards in that game. Caught a touchdown pass. Good moment.
And we will hear from Dave Lapham Jr. shortly as he will corral the coaches. A big win for Anderson, 56-34, as they won't even go extra point wise here. They'll leave it the way it is. And this was a dominating effort by the Anderson Redskins tonight.
Boy, 90 points put on the board. And I think Anderson is getting ready to defend that Division II state championship. They are on a roll. 4 in a row on the victory column for Anderson, 4 in a row in the defeat column for Harrison.
So Harrison ends on 4 consecutive losses and 4 consecutive wins for Anderson as they head into the playoffs. Farmers Insurance postgame show is on the way. We'll take a quick break, come back for that, head down and talk to a few. 56-34 Anderson, your final. We'll be right back after this.